Well, there goes the day! The Daverhood! Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first Saturday in June 2023. Are you screamingly happy like our goat? I know I am. Or. No, I don't feel. I feel happy today. I don't feel like.
Oh, good Lord.
No. I feel more like. I don't know if goat is happy. I'm not sure. Maybe we need big wavy.
Goat is just shocked.
Here we go. Let's have big wavy. Oh, I felt like that this morning, but you were still asleep.
Face the other way.
Wait.
No.
Oh, I can his face. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. Hello.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's down for it.
He's doing some kind of Jane Fonda workout. Look at that.
Ow.
That's a fan, honey.
Yeah. Ow. I'm not a fan of that.
You okay?
Yeah. I'm bleeding perfect. No, I'm fine. Anyway, welcome to the 897th episode of Dave's Gone By.
Wow.
That's just a ridge, but I did.
Here, make the goat scream to get your pain out. Oh wait, you don't have the air horn.
Oh, I have it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So anyway, we're here. Oh, this is my phone. Okay, right? Yeah, here's your phone, and my phone's over there. So I showed the picture.
Okay.
Stuff to talk about on Dave's Gone By today. Our 897th episode of the show, which we're calling The Way We GWIR. There's a play on words in honor of our upcoming guest later in the program. Joining us will be dancer, choreographer, and educator Daniel Gwirtzman. He danced with people like Mark Morris and with, who else? Garth Fagan.
Garth Brooks?
No, not Garth Brooks. No, he danced with Garth. No, but he grew up, started his own. Darth Vader? No. Anyone else? There aren't that many Garths or Darths, are there?
What does the name Garth mean? It's unusual.
Well, we pass a couple of streets sometimes called like Garth.
What does the name Garth mean?
Short for Gareth, maybe.
An open space surrounded by cloisters.
There you go.
And then it says, it's of British origin, keeper of the garden.
Oh!
Garth is a boy's name of British origin, meaning keeper of the garden.
Good to know. So
it's like when parents love, is it biblical?
I don't think so.
No. It just says it's...
For Garton, maybe.
And then it's associated with the number 9.
Number 9?
Well, I'm going to see what's
number 9?
Darth. Like,
number 9?
Is Darth really a name?
No, I don't know if George Lucas made that one up. Let's see.
Darth meaning... Dark Lord?
Oh, yeah.
Does Darth mean dark? According to George Lewis, Darth is a variation of Darth, and Vader means father, so dark father.
Oh, father.
Like Vater or Vader.
Vader, yeah. All
right,
okay.
Father.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, I know I was never good at throwing things at a Darth board, but I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, and we're here on this Saturday, June 3rd, 2000.
You're not going to put your sign on? No, later.
No, later. The program's very bright and whatever. Daniel Gwirtzman. So anyway, he has his own company now, has had it. First he did Artichoke Dance, and then he did another company called the Daniel Gwirtzman Dance Company. I thought Artichoke is a much better name, but
yeah.
Artichoke
Dance Company, Artichoke doesn't make sense unless it's a lot of people, collective hub of a lot of people.
Well, it kind of was. One of his things seems to be that, a lot of people dance in a lot of different styles, and it's all good. Yeah. So there's a kind of, not an everyman quality.
That's more kaleidoscope, or that's more cornucopia than Artichoke.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I like the name Artichoke. It's cute. We'll ask him. But Daniel Gwirtzman will be here with Rabbi Sol Solomon, the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sol, will be doing an interview with Daniel Gwirtzman later in the program, because Gwirtzman is going to be doing a new dance piece called Emotion. Ooh. I believe it's up in Ithaca, but here's the deal. Even if you're not in Ithaca...
At Cornell?
I'm not sure. Where is it?
Or Ithaca College is up there.
So it might be Cornell, it might be Ithaca. Could be a soda shop in it. No, it's the Cherry Art Space in Ithaca, which I'm guessing is near one of the universities, because
Probably
why else?
Cornell or yeah.
So, but if you're not there, it's also going to be streaming. So there's a way you can pay and watch the stream of his new show called Emotion. Well, his dance company
That's
show.
very smart. The first time we saw streaming, it was pre-pandemic. Remember at the Boulder Fringe? There was a woman who had like 1 or 2 people in the audience, and I'm like, what is she doing? And she was live streaming to like hundreds of people.
Brilliant, yeah.
And we were like, whoa. I mean, that to me is like.
And this would have been something like 2017 or 15 or something.
Yeah,
when I was doing Miracle, I was prepping Miracle for New York.
It wasn't Zoom, but it was another
Might
platform.
YouTube Live or something.
Yeah, maybe it was YouTube Live, and she just was streaming. I thought that was so smart.
And who knew? Who knew? 6 years later,
Yeah.
it's all anybody could do for a year.
No, but I think it just extends your audience, and people who want to see it. And who told me? Somebody said like with graduation that somebody couldn't travel and they were able to see graduation. I mean, I think why not? Yeah.
I think all graduation should be streamed now, no matter what.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we should have been doing it for years. This is a brilliant idea,
Because most people don't just sit through it for their own kids, so you might as well,
Yeah, but I mean, if you've got grandpa who's out on the West Coast or something,
or
and it's
anybody,
NYU.
What happens if your family's in the UK or Africa or Ireland or
Suddenly you say, "Hey, you want to see me get my degree? Tune in at 4 o'clock in the morning your time," and boom, there I am. I mean, it's a wonderful thing.
Remember our friend who got married on Zoom?
Yes. What a lovely thing. But that was it pandemic time? I think that's why she.
It was pre-pandemic, but they didn't want to have a large ceremony. They wanted it to be intimate. But they wanted their friends to be there.
Yeah, so that's right. We watched that. It was before. Were we still living in Colorado?
Yes.
Yeah, that was amazing. So we actually could have gone in person. We were too lazy. We're just
I love your short color, honey.
Isn't it nice? Anyway, so we got.
It's very monochromatic. It's really good looking.
I know, isn't it nice? Rabbi Saul Solomon and Daniel Gwirtzman, the dancer choreographer. That's one element of this episode of Dave's Gone By. The rabbi.
He could do some.
Well, Gwirtzman is an educator. He's a teacher. He's been teaching dance, so he could teach Rabbi Saul.
Should share his own dance moves. He's got a lot. He's been dancing with men for years.
If you want Rabbi Saul to throw out his lower back, his upper back, and his left testicle, have him dance. It's not a good idea to have. Really not a good idea to have an older Jew move in any way, shape, or form.
For religious people, isn't dancing giving glory to God? So shouldn't he do it?
Well, what do you call it? The Orthodox? Their weddings and things, and their Fabrangans, they dance for all night long. They literally in circles and things, and just a man, just a man.
Yeah.
But they go crazy. They dance like mad because it is an ecstatic thing. Although I'm sure half of them are faking it. Half of them are just like, I just want to be on watching the television at this point. Why the hell? Oh, God damn it.
I think a lot of people do it because for them, if you can do caffeine and alcohol, but they want stimulants, dancing will raise their brain chemistry.
Which is lovely. It's the healthiest. Yeah. But I have to wonder how many of these Orthodox guys in the hats and the things dancing get heart attacks.
Oh God!
Because they're literally from 5 in the evening until 3 a.m.
They don't dance every single one. I'm gonna look.
Yeah. Let's see this. I am curious about this. When we asked Daniel Gwirtzman about it, because I am guessing he's Jewish. It's just but if you see him and his name Gwirtzman. Lefkowitz. I mean, you can kind of tell. Even in this woke day and age, you can kind of tell. Anyway, we'll also have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
Oh.
What?
These are the most... Wait.
I don't think the rabbis are dancing to that. Here we go. Really? Haven't a Gila yet? Well, this is like more of a typical wedding kind of thing. This is not, this is not Chabadniks going nuts. That's just a wedding. Anyway, So we have our Colorado Limerick of the
Oh, here
Damned,
we go.
where we're going to Caryl, Colorado.
Oh, this is on.
There's actually a place called Caryl, Colorado. Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
See, I could dance like this for a while. This is just kind of walking around. That's the kind of dancing I could do. Yeah, just walk in sort of a circle for 4 hours. I could even manage that.
Let me find
Anything more than I couldn't in my 20s. I couldn't do any real dancing. I have 4 left feet, but no. Let's show them going. So there is a place in Colorado called Caryl. Something like a name, Ken and Caryl. We have a disgusting, horrible poem for you. One of our Colorado Limericks of the Dam. That will be coming up later in the Daverhood. And we will have our Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. And it's going to feature our friends of the Daverhood, Leslie Hoban Blake, Vicki Quade, and our old friends and my family, the Shubs, Jeffrey and Cynthia Shub, Jeffrey Kirsch and Cynthia Shub Kirsch. We'll be playing our weekly trivia quiz, so you don't want to miss that. And you don't want to miss this either. Here we go. So imagine doing this for a very long. All right, This is yeah. I'm all for it. And they're not really. They don't have to learn moves. Remember that guy?
He's jumping.
Yeah. Remember that guy from a couple of months ago we were watching? He's South Asian, and he goes to like the freaking Antarctic, and he puts on like orange gloves and funny boots, and he just is there doing the Bangla dances and stuff like that. Could not do that. And even he is not a choreographed Fosse sort of, Gene Kelly type. He's got a few moves. He does them really nicely, and then that's all he worries about. And then he tries to get everybody else to do it with him. This is Rabbi's going up, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, which I can do for about 2 minutes, and then I fall exhausted to the floor because I'm completely out of shape. Listen, oh my God, check this shit out.
If one of those guys, one person falls, it's going to be like a NASCAR disaster in the pit,
No, there's nothing. There's just a bunch of black hatters standing around. They're not really doing anything here. And this is the one where they have a guy or two just sliding across the floor doing Nicholas Brothers, or in this case the Nikolaevich brothers. Oh, this guy, yeah.
That's the Grand Rabbi.
Why does it look like his robe has an erection?
Because he's happy.
Okay, so Daniel Gwirtzman did not choreograph this. I could have choreographed that.
Yeah, but it's exciting, I'm sure. Like, if you believe this person is a spiritual leader.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, wait, honey.
Yeah, okay, one last thing, and then, yeah.
He's got a partner.
Oh, my God. The love that will not speak its name, ladies and gentlemen. And if you look at the robe, you know who's the girl in this relationship.
Yeah, but I'm sure out of all those people, it's an honor. Like, I would think out of all those people in that crowd, the guy who's dancing with him feels very honored.
Well, sure. I mean, it might be the groom if that's a chazana.
I don't know what it is, but if that's a huge wedding, maybe it's like a special wedding of somebody in the community.
Right, it could very well, and that could be the groom that's dancing with a big grand.
And then he's the guy who got off the B-57 bus in the Bronx and is like, what? Wait a second.
Maybe
Can you tell me how to get to Greenpoint?
Stop holding my arms.
The wrong bus. B is for Bronx, not Brooklyn.
let me go. Oh, no, I have a couple of pastries, but then let me go.
Do you have any decaf coffee and an ice cream cheese bagel?
That would be all right, yeah. So anyway, how do we go? Because we have a dance guy, we have a choreographer and dancer. We haven't had, I feel bad about that because we haven't had many dancers, a lot of actors, ton of actors on the show, singers and things, music people, cabaret people, but very few. We've had Tony winner, the guy who did Fela and Spring Awakening, Bill T. Jones, major fella. Bill T. Jones has been. Oh yeah, he won the Tony, and then we've had one or two, and forgive me for not remembering, but I've never really been, and I'll confess this right here, I've never been into dance per se.
Our garbage can lid is on the front.
Okay, you want to go deal?
Did you get the garbage can?
No. What do you mean it's on the front?
The garbage can lid is in the front of the, it's on the front, it's right on the front of the house.
All right.
Let me go get it.
Yeah. So I have to say I've never been that into really at all. But even in Broadway shows, sometimes it's wonderful to see dance and choreography and important to the story, and it gives a liveliness. You need some noise to open the second act and things like that. But it always went on too long for the most part, and I was always like, okay, dancing, wonder, and then you want 2 minutes of it, and it goes on for 8, and I'm just sitting there like, maybe I'm getting older, and my tastes are changing a little bit. Also, I just finished reading a couple of weeks ago the Fosse book, that Sam Wasson biography of Bob Fosse, which is mostly about who he's stooping, but there's also a bit about that makes you want to go see his dance and what he did and his legacy, as well as those of people like Jack Cole and Martha Graham. So in reading that, and then thinking more about dance, maybe I missed out on the thing. Maybe I just didn't get it. The beauty of bodies, male and female, the choreography, the symmetry, the motion of it, the idea of what a human can do for 3 or 5 or 15 minutes from the tip of their finger to the tip of their toe in just perfect, beauty would be a word for it, and control, and the perfection of the body in the sense of absolutely every moment having a certain, I can't, maybe Daniel Gwirtzman can describe it, but I do find that more interesting now than I did 10, 20, certainly 30 years ago. So I'm not saying I'm going to become a dance aficionado or whatever, but I'm more open, I think. I'm going to try and be more open to dance as an art form of itself. Because when I see dance that is exciting, even back then, when I saw Spring Awakening and the language that he created, Bill T. Jones did, I was like, whoa. Well, you sat up in your seat. It wasn't just the music. It wasn't just the story. It was the physicality. I was like, wow. There were a couple of wonderful dance numbers in the Broadway show Jagged Little Pill. I don't remember who the choreographer was on that, but I just remember that is a melding of story and feeling and visual imagery that is incredibly powerful. And I was like, oh, maybe I've been shortchanging choreography all these years, and I shouldn't be doing that. So I'm not going to be saying that every week we're going to have more dance people, but we've had a couple already this spring, which is kind of neat. Julie Mark and who we have on last week. Well, Quinn Lemley's more of a singer, but also a dance. But today we have a real dyed-in-the-wool, actual dancer, choreographer, teacher. So excited to have Rabbi Saul Solomon talk to him and maybe just ease a little bit more into dance as something we talk about here on Dave's Gone By. Here, see, unfortunately, Goat can't dance, but he can scream. Can't really do much more than that. That's an unfortunate thing. So we want to talk about later in the show, because we have our guests, a couple of them, already coming to play the quiz in a few minutes. But we, Joyce and I we did a field trip this week. right? Our lives have been so bound by our work and by we moved to Maryland just a few months ago, so we have the house and the car. So it's just been this, and the pandemic we're still worrying about. So we don't really do much of anything. But this week, we went somewhere. And I'm going to talk about that with Joyce when we have more time, probably after the quiz and the guest. But it should be cool. We went to a historical site in Maryland with beautiful imagery and horrible history. You're going to check that out. Also, what else do I want to talk about? Can someone answer this for me? I'm rather curious about this. So, for the past bunch of months, we've all been following this. We've all been noticing that the Fed has been raising interest rates for the banks, for everybody to interest rates. Suddenly, they're trying to stop the insane housing market, slow it down, and also to try and curb inflation. So what are they doing? They're raising rates. So what? Thank you very much.
The garbage can was in the street.
My gosh.
It was like, someone pushed it over, but I don't want anyone to hit it.
So the Fed has been raising these rates, and I'm like, okay, thank goodness we got our house when we did, because if we got it right now, our mortgage would be something like 7.5%. Might have lowered the overall house cost, maybe not, because it's still a pretty hot housing market. But it's cool. It's cool thanks to the raising rate. Fine. So it couldn't stay 3.5% forever if you're buying a house. And now that we have one, I'm not so worried about it.
Is your guest coming? Don't forget.
The guest is coming at 10:30, but the other guests are coming at 9:30. Is the quiz.
So this is your tea, honey. It's hot.
Thank you very much. So
I got confused. I'm sorry.
So I'm wondering about this though.
What, honey?
I'm thinking the Fed is raising all these interest rates, and I mean, hey, kind of catbird seat, because we didn't get our house at the lowest possible rate, but we also didn't wait until it was, getting higher and up to more than 7% now. We got it right in the middle. Fine. And I'm figuring, hey, we're sitting on this, we're paying our mortgage, but since the Fed is raising all this stuff, we got money in the bank. Mm-hmm. So we're fabulous, and that means our bank interest rates are rising too, because everything must be going up, right? So I'm thinking, hey, instead of getting like literally 0.01%, not on a checking account where you don't get anything at all, but on a savings account, you would get 0.01% on your money, or
I believe now they take money back from you. I think.
Yeah, well, they do. It's called fees.
I think what happened is that's what happened.
But then I checked about a few days ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm wondering, hey, what are we getting? We have money in this bank, we have some money in that bank. Rich? Fuck no, we're not. But we have a little bit of money set aside, even beyond, giant mortgage freaking thing, because we have to live, right? So I'm like, hey, I'm wondering maybe we're just getting like 2% now, as opposed to point something.
Yeah.
Maybe we're actually getting not a decent return compared to what people compared to what people were getting like 25 years ago or 30 years ago. When you can actually open a banking account, you get 7 to 10% on your money and 12% on a CD. I check our major bank account. And I'm like, what the fuck? We're getting not even 0.1, not 1%, 1/10 of 1%.
Wow.
On our savings account and nothing on our checking. What? Why? How is this working? How is it that if people want to buy houses and mortgages and things, or cars too, suddenly they've got to pay all this extra percentage than they were a year or two ago? If you have a credit card and you carry balances month to month, it's 20%.
A lot of people. You should ask isn't your cousin in the mortgage industry?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. He might have been. I'll ask. But it's sort of like, wait, how is the twain not meeting? How come they're I don't know if it's artificially or whatever, they're keeping everything that we get in the bank. All those people are saving. All those people who don't necessarily trust the stock market to put all our monies beyond 401k and TIAA in. So it's like, hey, we're not spenders. We're not buying a zillion things. We're not taking big trips, putting it in the bank, letting it grow. And hey, now the interest rates are going up. Maybe they're not. They're not. Some places apparently have CDs now where you can get a couple of percentage things. I want to look into those. But I'm just like, how does that work? How do they manage it to forever swindle the middle class? So that if you're carrying credit card debt, you're paying unbelievable interest rate on it. If you buy a house now, you're paying higher interest on it. But if you're just saving money in your bank, you're still getting fucked up the ass. Why is this? I don't. Maybe some of you out there are more financial minded, or you work in banking industry or Wall Street or something. You can answer this question, because I just it's perturbing.
You know who knows?
Who?
I know.
Oh, well, we can talk about it just now because we got some people coming to the neighborhood. So last week, another thing I wanted to tell you about, I told you about, was getting temporarily from a yard sale giant shit smeared unicorn. Now, giant shit smeared unicorn was is a big fluffy unicorn girls, like, something that you win at a carnival thing, except twice the size. It's enormous, this thing. It is literally, if you stood it on its legs, it's the size of me. Just about. It's really soft and fluffy. And I'm looking at Joyce like, can we just get this? Can we? And Joyce is like, no, we can't. And she looked on the side of it, and there's like brown stains.
I'm gonna try with the baby wipe.
Yeah.
I think a baby wipe might get that off. I get my gardening gloves.
But she's like, you can't get. Not only is it enormous, not only don't we have room for it, not only do we need crap like this in our house, but it's got shit stains on the side of it. What's the matter with you, Dave? So I didn't get it. I didn't bid on it, or I didn't offer any money.
I don't think, David, I don't think many people were bidding on it.
They were throwing it out, and then it suddenly disappeared. So I think if somebody either grabbed it, took it off the lawn because it was already a free item.
You cried. Oh wait, here's the
I kept looking out the window all day.
Here's the original way that we saw him.
This is how we first spotted him out our kitchen window.
No, dude, this is through this window. It was during your show. I took a picture.
That was yeah. But this is what unicorn looked like. Giant pink shit-stained unicorn across the street. And so
I don't think it's doo-doo. I think it must be chocolate.
I know, it's chocolate syrup, or it could be anything. But it looks like this kind of got like a stain on the side of it. So it went away, and then I told this story last week. I see the woman across the street mowing her lawn, which is more work than I do because I don't mow her own lawn. You want to show that?
No.
And I said, so they took the unicorn. What happened? She's like, no, it's back inside. You want it?
And she said it just like that, huh?
Pretty much. Saying, yeah, we still got it. I'm like, just to piss Joyce off. I'm like, yes. Because I bring it in, freak her out, and give it back. Because the woman across the street said, "Look, I know your wife really doesn't want this. So if it doesn't work out, it's okay. You can bring it back to us. We'll figure out another thing." So I grab it, and I've been putting it all over the house just to irritate Joyce. Although now we've got it perched and poised on the rail of our staircase, with potatoes on top of it. So it's becoming quite a thing. I promised, we're still giving it back at some point. But Joyce made me this deal last week. She said, look, if you get rid of the giant shit-stained unicorn, I'll give you this. And it was a little, like ceramic-y, it's not real ceramic, it's like clay unicorn toy in a box, where it comes in, I think I showed it to you last week before it had sprouted. It just comes in a shell, and you dip the shell in water, and you keep the shell submerged in water, and eventually the shell cracks,
and he comes
and
out.
the unicorn
Look,
breaks
he lost
free.
a lot of pieces already. Look,
Yeah.
that's new water.
But the thing is, it's supposed to take about 24 to 48 hours.
Everything for us, David. Like we had Margaret and Ernest Borgnine, the grow frogs when they were legal, and then now you can't. And they they're like, oh, they'll grow buds, and I cried because when they get the legs, you're supposed to switch the food, and I called him crying. I'm like, the guy, he switched, and I didn't give him the food. Will he die? And they're like, well, maybe. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Not only didn't they die, they lived more than a decade.
Yes,
It was
they lived in your Aunt Bonnie's childhood. What do you call it? Classroom, kindergarten, or whatever she did, primary school. And probably because the kids manhandled them, they kind of...
Yeah, well, it was over the summer thing. I think they were intended to properly. But they lived much longer than anybody thought that they would. And here's here is also another item.
Here, David, it's
Thank
very
you.
hot.
That Joyce got me. Thank you very much.
Grab it by the hand.
Okay.
It's very hot. It's very hot. Are your shorts?
Ah.
It's very hot.
I
Please
know.
be careful. I mixed it, but it's hot, so don't burn yourself.
It's got unicorn thing on it. All right,
Don't
well,
burn yourself. Here. It's very hot, David. Please don't burn yourself.
that's good. Thank you very much. Okay, so actually, let me let the guests in, and we'll talk more about the unicorn later. But we've got guests coming into the
Do you
Daverhood.
think Leslie will be wearing the crown?
Well, can you text Leslie and remind her, because she wasn't sure she would be up early enough to play
Okay,
the game. But we do have joining us in the Daverhood to play our Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. Coming with us, a couple of beloved people in the Daverhood. First of all, people who were some of the very, very first to play the Today, Yesterday quiz on Dave's Gone By. My cousins, Jeffrey Kirsch and Cynthia Shub Kirsch. They were out there. First I was doing the quiz with nobody. Good, what the? Vicki?
I have to get my camera right.
I saw this thing. I'm like, what is this? Like, and then, oh my God! And look at Vicky's shirt. Vicki, Wither.
I can't see it.
Well, why? Why?
Well, because it matches my pants.
Oh, I thought maybe
It's just a fashion choice.
I love it. I love it. God bless you, Vicki. And God does bless Vicki because she is the co-creator of
That's right.
Bible.
There's that too.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, and there's that too.
And there's that. And
I got this at the Spam Museum. I actually went to the Spam Museum, which I am telling you, I love museums. The Spam Museum is excellent. Excellent.
Where is it? Where is it again? Where's
It's in
Hormel?
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
It's in Minnesota. And when you walk in, a greeter comes with a pretzel, and on the pretzel is a piece of Spam. Immediately, here you go. I'm like, yes.
And we're going. I mean, I've been to, I don't know how I missed it. I've been to St. Paul and Minneapolis. And somehow, how far is the museum from there? I was there.
Oh, it's maybe from Minneapolis, St. Paul, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours. It's on the way to South Dakota. Like we would drive and then you turn before you go up to Minneapolis. You turn and you're going across the state. And it's there, but it's worth the trip. Let me tell you.
I am so like, hon, we're going to Minneapolis this summer.
I wrote Leslie.
Yeah, we're also waiting for Leslie to join us, but we do have with us for the first time in a long time because they moved and they were teaching and all this stuff was going on. But we have Jeffrey Shub Kirsch and Cynthia Shub Kirsch, or Jeffrey Kirsch. Welcome, guys. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Vegas.
You should come to Arizona in the summer.
Are you Arizona or Vegas? I'm sorry. Where are you?
Arizona.
All right. How is Arizona?
Oh, it's like hell.
We're in the month of hell. Well, the season of hell. There's 2 seasons. We have summer and hell.
You chose to move there.
Well, it's not New York, so yes.
But it's dry heat, right? It's dry
Well,
heat.
yeah.
Oh, that's a lie. Heat is heat.
So's a crematorium.
No, it's like, I love this idea, but when you got schwitz on your neck and your arms, there's nothing.
No, there's no
You don't
schwitz.
sweat. You don't sweat.
You don't sweat.
You don't sweat, but it's still miserable, right?
No,
Actually, you get used to it.
you do
really
get used to it.
You really do.
Yeah.
How old are you guys? No, none of my business. But are you guys in your 60s at this point? Because I'm not used to it yet.
You know what?
I gather you've never looked at the family tree.
Nobody has grass out there. It's all stone. There's no grass.
No.
we're
A lot of our neighbors have actual grass, which I think is
Well,
crazy.
Cynthia from California. No, yeah.
We have turf in the front.
AstroTurf.
Yeah, but you would never know. I mean, you can look at it, walk on it, and Jeff's sister just came out to visit and she thought it was real grass. So the stuff is now pretty good, but in the back, it's all, well, besides the pool takes up most of the yard, but it's desert scape.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because
Well-
Arizona's known for golf courses, and they have to take
Yeah,
all
we-
Yeah.
the water in the state and commandeer it just to water the golf courses and keep.
But no, that's in the community that we live in, which is a very, very large planned community. They recycle all the water
Yeah.
and it's used for the golf courses. So
You
they
know,
don't,
I do that with my urine. Like
Yeah.
making, why am I going to waste tap water from Maryland? My urine is actually probably better quality than the water coming from
That's
the
not
tap.
true. That's actually possible.
Now, Cynthia, isn't it true that Arizona was the 48th state? It's the last contiguous state
Yes.
admitted. And
1912.
it was admitted, I think like around Valentine's Day, and I forget what year it was,
1912.
1912. And and they had applied for statehood, they meaning whoever, the powers that be in Arizona. And the government didn't want to give them statehood because they thought the land was worthless until they discovered that there were things that could be mined.
there's,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
there's plenty
Yeah.
of gold, but when
then
I dig in my
US government
backyard,
was
I
like,
just,
Well,
I
you-
just find rocks when I dig in my backyard.
I'm driving home one day and I passed this huge salt mine. It's a Morton salt mine,
oh yeah,
and massive area. And I mean, I got all kinds of things they're digging up here.
Wow.
oh yeah. But it took the government
They'll find
to
out.
realize that before they approved statehood for
That's
Arizona.
funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice. We're happy.
Yeah.
First of all, I gotta say, I love being retired. I love it. I'm now getting to do, all the hobbies that I wanted to do, didn't have time, and I just joined a theater group. I'm
Are you acting
performing.
or what are you doing? What are you doing?
I'll be acting. We're doing a murder mystery.
Uh-huh.
And when I signed up, I didn't realize how many lines I was going to have. It's 22 pages of script.
For you alone is 22.
my
How many is this?
God.
script? Well, yeah.
I think I have the majority of the lines.
Yeah.
I'm the comedic role. I play the 84-year-old Italian grandmother who has no filter. I go,
Excellent.
it's perfect,
sounds
except for the
wonderful.
age, but it's
A
perfect.
mustache or
I have,
We're working on
I'm
it.
gonna get a gray wig, and then I have to get, stuff a bra, because they want
They want down by the knees.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You just don't stuff your bra. Just bring your knees up.
Oh, she needs to from Bush gun and wear all black, right? Widow's role.
That's
That's what I-
that was my initial thought was all black. And I have to put on she wanted a Queen's Italian accent.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
I said, oh, okay, I could do that.
No, but
yeah.
she meant like the Queen of England, so it makes it a little difficult at that
Yeah,
point.
that I would be really stuck.
So Jeffrey, how are you enjoying? I mean, you've been retired for a bit longer, sort of.
Yeah.
Right to the last, but how are you doing?
I'm doing really well.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's your? Are you in the theater
More
group too?
importantly, how are the puppies?
And how are your dogs? Yes,
They're here.
showing them.
Yay!
You sound like Mark
There's
Wahlberg
one.
there, Dave.
This
How you
is
doing?
Mullen's here.
Oh, there they are. Okay, they're both.
Mullen's hanging over the edge here, just looking.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
okay.
cute.
Come here.
Cute.
Come on, come.
Marlon, come.
Do they go out? Like, do they go
Yeah,
outside
TV
of the
thing.
heat? How did they adapt to the heat?
Well, the little guy here he's a Mexican, part Chihuahua.
Yeah,
He loves the heat.
Oh.
Yeah.
He'll just lie out there. You have to try to get him in. We can't leave them out alone though, because there are certain critters that,
owls,
well, there's
Owls?
owls, there's,
Yes.
wait a minute, there's
coyotes.
there's rattlesnakes, there's
Bobcats.
bobcats,
Wait a minute. Wait. Stop right there. Wait.
scorpions.
Have you two physically seen rattlesnakes.
No,
Nope.
No. Well,
no. But we put up rattlesnake fence on our perimeter.
Property. Yeah.
does that actually, wait, a rattlesnake sort of lives on, how does that keep out a rattlesnake? Aren't they sort of there and, you
Well,
put
they have to be able to get into your yard, and if it's secured, they can't get in.
The fencing is like a mesh, like they go down about 6 inches underground with it.
Oh.
And they also put concrete under the gates
So they
to
can't
the
get in.
yard. So there's just no access for the.
Boy,
uh,
you're
An
making
owl could
Arizona
s-
sound great.
I know.
I can't wait to visit.
You know what?
The only animals I've seen up close so far are rabbits, lizards, what's the bird?
Road runners.
Roadrunners.
Really?
Oh my God, the roadrunners, yes.
Do they look
And-
anything like the Roadrunner in the cartoon?
Well, I saw this coyote painting a tunnel on a rock on a boulder.
But we also have deer.
Yes.
Haven't seen
We have
that. though.
I've seen the deer. So I only saw in the distance a coyote.
Hmm.
And they're just walking around, minding their own
I
business. They were
saw
on the
one.
golf course.
Yeah.
And they were just walking down the road.
I was at a stop sign, just sitting on the corner.
The coyote?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's
I
coyotes
thought
here in
I thought it was
Chicago.
a stray dog.
Well,
And-
you're in suburban Chicago, right?
No, I'm in Chicago.
So what kind of critters do you actually get in the city?
Oh, we
I'm
have-
not talking about the
we have
critters from
fox.
Greeley Green. I'm talking about actual animals. Yeah.
Okay, in the city proper, I'm not talking out in the suburbs. Okay, there's coyote and there's deer, and they live mostly in the cemeteries because it's open. The coyotes can be found downtown. You'll see them in the loop. You'll see them in alleys. You'll see them at
I'm
night.
surprised.
Really?
Oh yeah, there are fox now living in Millennium Park. There's a fox family, and they're great because they catch rats.
Well, it's Irving
well,
and Myra Fox. They're actually belong to the temple over there in Skokie. So it's-
They
So you
could
see
use that
deer?
in the city if it takes care of rats.
Oh, they
I'm at
do.
New York City.
They use fox and a coyote. I have often run into deer as I'm driving home at night. And like you're just on a side street or something, and all of a sudden you see a movement, and you think, oh, and then there'll be a deer there. What else? Oh, the standard rabbits, rats, obviously.
Oh, it's a rat. Yeah.
Well, that's where the
those are pretty
rattlesnakes come in
common.
handy because they
Yeah.
eat the rats.
Yeah.
Oh,
But the nice thing is I can sit out back in any time and there's no mosquitoes.
No.
Oh.
See, that was the thing that shocked me about Colorado when Joyce and I were living there for over a decade. I thought one thing about Colorado is it doesn't get a hell of a lot of some snow, but it's not a rainy place. It's very dry. The climate, it's northern. Not going to get mosquitoes. But summer, they had a spray. Mosquitoes were, it's not like Louisiana or the Bayou, but
Oh, yeah.
where are they coming? There's no water.
Oceanside.
No.
Or Oceanside.
Yeah. Oh my God. When we lived in Oceanside,
Unreal.
you just couldn't walk out back at all.
Wow.
I don't get it. I
Yeah.
don't,
It's on the water,
It's right on
and-
the water. I imagine
Yeah.
mosquitoes are an issue.
Yeah.
Huge.
Near the ocean, yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't get why we were in such a dry climate and yet mosquitoes were
They
a
like
thing.
the skiing.
The skiing. You think that it could be? They're
There's people here in my community that say there's mosquitoes, but most of the people say they've never seen any. And I've been here now over a year. I haven't seen any.
so even July, August last summer you didn't. Wow.
No.
Knock wood.
No.
Lullaby, whatever
Yeah.
you do instead of knocking wood.
Yeah.
Two
Anyway.
years ago,
Yeah.
we were like inundated with houseflies.
Yeah, well, that one every year they say it
No, it didn't
happens.
happen this summer.
Oh.
Two years
Lullaby,
ago.
toy. Aren't you guys Jewish? Don't you know to spit through your fingers or go toy? And when you
Yeah.
say something like that,
Right,
not this
right,
year,
And they swore.
Hitler hasn't been reborn and done a Holocaust this year. You just have to be
Yeah.
extra careful.
That's not even how they
He
make.
sounds like Faith.
Right.
That's a good question. Joyce has a question for you guys, again for Jeffrey and Cynthia, in terms of how do you guys make friends?
You just don't.
Oh,
Yeah,
just-
you know,
just
who needs
join-
friends?
just join the temple. you
No,
know.
yeah. No, there's no
We don't
temple
temple.
here.
Wait,
If-
of course, there's a temple somewhere near you.
Well, there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
Chabad that we would still have to drive to. And then if we wanted like, a conservative or reform synagogue, we would have to
A half
go
hour away.
at least, yeah, a half hour.
So are you really insular, or are you trying to make friends? So that
Oh, no, we have friends. We have friends.
Yeah.
They actually, we went to a meeting. It was a club that was started. It didn't last too long though, but we got a lot of friends out of it. It was, people from New York living here.
There's not a huge amount of New Yorkers here. But part of the problem was COVID, and I didn't want to go to any of these indoor group meetings. I'm feeling better about it now. I'm up to 6 vaccines. And so that's why I was able to join the theater group and, meet in close quarters with a bunch of people.
Although I should, 2 of those were for gonorrhea.
Oh, God.
Right.
Snake bite, what do you mean?
Listen, every 6 months, I'm going for my COVID shot. That's it.
No, good. Has either of you gotten COVID in the past?
No. Nope.
What do we say?
Mhm.
Toi, no.
Right, really, right.
Yeah.
Bite your tongue. Yeah, no,
Well, I'm not going to bite my tongue because I've got to be a moderator here and start the quiz, because we actually have our guest coming at 10:30. He can't do the quiz with us. So I want to, do the quiz and get her done before the guest comes in.
Okay.
And of course, before Leslie comes in, because she's Leslie. So let's.
I wrote her, but I don't know if she wrote
She's
that.
probably still sleeping. She warned me. She said if it's that early, she's probably sleeping in.
Yeah,
but,
I said good morning, and I said, please join us. I think she should lift the bum.
What I would like you guys to do, Jeffrey and Cynthia, is think of a number between 1 and 6 and tell me what it is.
4.
4, okay. And Vicki, please.
I'll take 3.
3 for the
You want
Vicster.
me to show them the new dice?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do it. That's the point. We're gonna here. Look, we're gonna try this. Joyce is gonna be our roller. This is so cool. We bought these this week. Joyce?
No whammies.
Do we get to see Joyce?
No, she doesn't go on camera.
I know. I still
white
haven't
fake.
met her.
It's
I've never seen my own cousin here.
By marriage,
in
yeah.
terms of my parole and my witness protection.
That's right. She has to stay 400 yards away from a camera. A 4. We rolled a 4. So,
That was us.
Jeffrey, do you want to be first, second? What did you say, first or second?
You take first.
First, sure. Why not?
Okay, so Jeffrey's going to be first, and that automatically, Vicki. Well,
I'll be second.
If-
I'll be second, and then if Joyce comes,
Leslie.
We'll just ignore her.
No. If Leslie comes, we will give her 6. I didn't take that number, and she can be third.
Thank you.
I
Sounds good.
honestly don't. I think she's schluffed, Vicki. She's sleeping.
She's
and
probably-
She's in dream.
Listen, if I could get up at 5 a.m. for this.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for them, it's the only time that it's below 100.
We're in Arizona. What the hell else are you going to do?
We do a lot of gardening.
I do my gardening normally at 6 a.m.
That
Now
makes
it's probably
sense.
like 79 degrees before it hits the high. For
Wait a
them.
minute,
Yeah.
Cynthia. You have AstroTurf.
Yeah.
What are you gardening?
Oh no, my backyard.
Flowers.
A lot of planting, growing seeds.
Every dementia was already setting in. It's like, look how beautiful our lawn is.
Yeah.
I'm watering it all morning. It's like,
no.
no. Anyway, are you guys ready to play the Today, Yesterday trivia game quiz?
Except for your theater questions, yes.
Do I have it? We'll see what we have here. Let's see.
Okay.
So starting first will be Jeffrey and Cynthia. So this question goes directly to you. The year was 1539.
What you're taking.
I'm good.
Oh, I remember it.
Hernando de Soto lands on the coast of Florida and claims it for Spain. Which of these is false about de Soto? A. He was the first European to reach the Mississippi River. B. De Soto died when he was accidentally grazed by a bayonet from one of his own men and he was infected. C. He was once appointed the governor of Cuba. Or D. With Cole Porter's permission, It's De Lovely was rewritten as a jingle for De Soto.
Oh.
So, one of these, however, is false.
What were they again?
Sure. Let me read the question again.
Maybe this will help.
This is This doesn't help anything. There is nothing that this helps. Nothing in the universe that helps.
Maybe the laughing will stimulate you.
So this is
The only
about
thing
the
I
soda.
know about the soda was my next door neighbor had one.
Oh.
So
Uh,
which of these was false about DeSoto? A, he was the first European to reach the Mississippi River. B, DeSoto died when he was accidentally grazed by a bayonet from one of his own men and the wound got infected. C, he was once appointed the governor of Cuba. Or D, with Cole Porter's permission, It's the Lovely was rewritten as a jingle for DeSoto.
Just play that for them. They can.
So while you're thinking, Joyce wants to share this.
I call a friend.
No, it's a friend calling here. And no checking
Okay.
your
Yeah, they
phone.
can.
I have my phone.
You're cheating.
All right, text this way.
Right.
Here's my phone. It's off. Oh, no,
No,
no.
it's not on. It's on, but not
It's
being used.
not.
Oh, there's my son's picture. Okay.
Oh, I couldn't really see. Is he the railroad guy? Let me see.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
We only see the time.
No, oh, it's his face. It's his railroad pass.
yay! Yeah,
That's my
I have an
screen.
employee number. I can get him into a tremendous amount of fraud there. Thank you. So,
Be careful, this is being recorded.
yeah, you know. Well, you should know that. But yeah, be careful. You're right.
Is he still
Yeah.
working?
Yeah, he's on the LIRR.
Yeah.
As I saw him once years ago. He took my ticket. I was like, wait, I know you. I watched your show. I was like, yeah, their son. And I was like, oh yeah, Dave's gone by. And then he's like, I'm your cousin. It's like, how you doing? So, DeSoto.
Answer.
I'm going to say A.
You're going to say it is not true that he was the first European to reach the Mississippi River. Is that your final answer?
Might as well be.
Screaming Goat, what do you think? Oh, I'm afraid. Oh, sorry. We've drowned you with that one. That was a really bad segue, but no, that is not the correct answer. So, Vicki, you have a shot at some points here for 2 points.
You know, it sounds so bizarre that DeSoto, DeLovely, but is that possibly true? I mean, it is possibly true that he got scratched and died. I think that's true. And that he was the governor of Cuba. That's possible. I'm going to say it's the DeSoto, it's the DeLovely, the last one.
You're saying it's not true that.
It's probably true, but I'm going to say it's not true because it sounds too bizarre.
Is that your final answer?
It is, Mr. Goat.
Well, I'm afraid it's a lousy answer because I said, oh, yes, Cynthia, what?
I have my own answer. I know
Okay.
you can't count it.
You're a
You
team.
can't count it. But
Your dad got no more choices.
as
Has
a
to be
former
right.
teacher, if you don't know an answer, you always say C. So that's my guess.
So you're saying it is not true that he was once appointed governor of Cuba.
Yes.
You have to go back to the Board of Ed. I actually stumped the panel completely on this one. The only false answer on that was about the wound and his death. What happened was he contracted a fever, and the thing was his men took him probably at night and just buried him in the Mississippi River very quietly. Yeah, right?
I hope he was dead.
Mississippi River.
I'm sure the people he was
Let's try to
conquering
make it there.
didn't do that. But the other thing is, what I want to say, it was true that Cole Porter said, yep, you can take my song. And it was, it's the lovely, it's dynamic, it's DeSoto. So that's how they changed it. That was really actually.
Wow.
Was it for him or for the automobile?
For the automobile, which was
But you can't hear. What?
the car was named after that.
No, but the song.
Yeah.
Was it for a car commercial or was it
Yeah.
for?
The soda.
Oh, I thought it was for him, the person.
That's
I
what.
meant specifically the car. You know.
Yeah, that's
I
what
didn't
threw
know
us all.
Yeah. That was the only
That
question.
answer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was
Don't
true.
be bad students. I'm saying it's the question.
That's right.
That question was a little hinky. You know,
Was it?
I'm saying.
No. You just say this. This is the classic line of all students. We're all confused. It's not just me. We're all confused about this.
We won our points.
Right.
No, nobody gets
Sometimes
points on that.
We're
Right, sometimes we're just wrong.
Thank you. And it's still a tie game. We have a zero-sum game so far with lots of questions to go in our Today Yesterday quiz here on Dave's Gone By. So this next question, though, goes directly to Vicki Quade. So
Okay.
Vicki,
Let's go.
the year, well, yeah, or more than let's go, it was 1851. Play ball. The New York Knickerbockers do just that as they take the field wearing, for the very first time ever for any baseball team,
Pants.
uniforms.
Pants.
Well,
Pants.
Which of
Cups.
these composed these first baseball uniforms?
Okay.
A, straw hats, white shirts, long blue pants. B, newsboy type caps, player's choice of shorts. C, no hats, white shirt, white knee-length pants. Or D, trick question. The Knickerbockers were founded in 1851, but uniforms didn't happen until the 1880s.
Ooh.
Tricky. TT, too
Can't
tricky.
say anything.
Trick question.
Is that your final answer?
Sure.
All right, hold on. Let me see. I'm going to leave the goat aside for a moment. So you're saying it is not true that this was a trick question? The Knickerbockers.
I think it was a trick question.
Right, it was a trick. So I'm sorry. Yeah. I trick myself sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm very sorry, but I tricked you with a trick question. It is not a trick question.
okay.
So that is not the answer. And this question now goes for a steal to Cynthia and Jeff.
She said that it was a trick question.
Oh,
that the
okay,
woman uniform,
okay.
yeah.
It's not a trick question.
All
Right.
right. I think the answer is A.
The straw hats.
So you're saying it is true. This is about
Yeah.
it was true what they actually wore.
Right.
It is true that the first team back in 1851, the Knickerbockers, wore straw hats, white shirts, and long blue pants. And you're saying that is true?
Yeah.
Well, give these people straw hats and the white shirts and long blue pants because you got 2 points. Yay!
I'm a baseball
Congratulations.
uniform historian.
Yes, my husband owns quite a few baseball uniforms.
Oh,
Or actual historical ones or just local or what?
Some historical, yeah. Some historical. And I know I happen, there's a site called Dress to the Nines. It's on the Hall of Fame site. And it goes to the whole history of baseball uniforms.
oh,
And it has pictures of every team's uniform in every league that ever existed in the United States.
really? What site is
yeah.
that? I'm gonna write that down.
It's on the Hall of Fame site. It's a section called Dress to the Nines.
But it's on, what's the site it's on? What's it called?
If you Google Dress to the Nines Hall of Fame,
Okay.
I'll take you
Like
right to
baseball
it.
Hall of Fame. So let me ask you, what is your oldest, most beloved, valuable uniform that you have?
Is it that last one that you
A
got?
1958 Sandy Koufax jersey.
Ooh,
Wait a minute. So Sandy Koufax actually wore.
No, he didn't
No.
wear this. It's a reproduction, but an authentic reproduction. In other words, made of the material. It's an exact replica. It's not a replica like you find in a store, off the rack. It's
You're not gonna go to Modell's and buy that.
right.
Right.
Most no doesn't buy anything.
Right, well, not now.
And Sandy Koufax, of course, because he was Jewish. But that's just, is that why you chose Koufax? Or
It was
no?
a gift. That was a gift.
Oh, that's nice.
And who
That's
did
really
you
nice.
just get a book signed by?
Art Chemsky.
Yeah,
That's on the book.
So here's, by the way, if people are looking for it,
Yeah, that's the site. Yeah.
it's dressed to the nines.
It's really interesting. It
Yeah.
goes year by year of every team, the uniforms they wore.
well, we should leave now because you've hit his major hobby,
Ah.
baseball.
Yeah.
And yeah, so,
Yeah.
but keep going. Well,
Actually,
we
wait,
can just
let me
hit
let me
everything
ask you a
else along.
question now. You were in New York all those years.
Yeah.
So you were either Mets or Yankee fans.
Mets.
Mets fans.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Have you had to?
I'm sorry to hear that.
Have you had to switch to the Diamondbacks? Can you, or do you remain Mets fans? How does that work?
I'm a Mets fan all the way.
Right.
Yeah.
And-
I subscribe to the
if you ever-
MLB.
Sorry.
I get the MLB package so I can watch the Mets games.
And we belong to a site online, Mets fans living in Arizona. It's, yeah.
That's so cool.
When the Mets come to town at Chase Field, mostly Mets fans in the ballpark.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even though there's no New Yorkers out there, somehow they gravitate to.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Vicki, if you were to ever move from Chicago, I mean, first of all, are you White Sox or Cubbies? You gotta be Cubbies.
I am a Cub fan, but we also support the White Sox, which someone told me years ago means that you're actually a Cub fan because the White Sox would never support the Cubs. White
Oh,
Sox fans would
really?
never
That's
support the Cubs.
yeah.
They're
I
very,
said
you
me
know,
too.
they're,
New York with the
but
Yankees.
for me, we support, because they're Chicago, we support Chicago.
If you moved, would you always be then a Chicago fan, or let's say if you moved to Arizona or somewhere
yeah.
else contiguous?
I-
What?
I would be a Chicago fan,
Is
of
that-
course. You take it with you.
I know, right? I kept
You work
trying
with
to,
it.
to get into the
You've rooted against every other team. Why would you now say,
the switch. I know, I know,
You don't
but
like
Listen.
the Oreos or the, where are we the?
I can't get into the Orioles. I can't. When we were in,
The
in
Ravens?
Denver, I couldn't get into the who were the Colorado
Broncos?
Rockies. I couldn't.
I
Rockies,
don't
yeah.
know if you can see this. I'm going to see if I can show it to you. Can you see
Oh,
this picture?
Oh, who is
Can
that?
you see it?
Is
That's
that-
my father. He was a minor league player
Oh,
what do we
in
call that?
Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's his uniform.
in
He was a
Arizona?
minor. Minnesota. My
Minnesota.
dad grew up in Minnesota. He was a minor league baseball player. And we
Wow, that's-
used to have a lot of his equipment, but somehow it just got lost. But yeah, my dad loved playing minor league ball.
Oh man! Wow. Anyway,
And
I love.
Dave,
Yeah.
my dad was born in Detroit and moved to New York at a very young age, but he was forever a Detroit fan.
Wow.
Really, the Tiger. He Tigers. Even though he was like 5 or whatever when he moved.
Yeah,
It's
But
just
it's a family thing because your mom or your dad were fans, and your uncles and your aunts, and
well,
you know,
his
your
parents weren't
grandparents and-
fans of anything.
And it's also
They don't even know if they
baseball's
spoke
different somehow.
English yet.
When we were in Colorado, I became a Broncos fan. I really did. I kind of the Jets sucked. So,
Yeah.
because of the Jets. So I was like, you know what the hell? I'm going to try. And I tried. Of course, the Broncos were doing really well. It was a Peyton Manning years.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I got into it. And now I couldn't give a shit about the Broncos. I'm like, yeah. And
I'm
I-
only going to point out that your next guest comes on in 27 minutes.
We're good. We're good. Thank you. Thank you. So let's stay on top of it. And by the way, congratulations, though, so far to Jeff and Cynthia. 2 points on the board with that last question. So our next question, though, goes directly to Jeff and Cynthia as we start our second round since Leslie isn't with us. The year was 1926. Born today in New Jersey, I love this one, is poet Allen Ginsberg, best known for his early groundbreaking works like Howl and Kaddish. Which of these was not a lesser-known poem by Allen Ginsberg? A. America, Your Face is Ass. B. Kiss Ass. C. Sweet Boy, Gimme Your Ass. Or D. Under the World, There's a Lot of Ass. One of these, only one of these.
Is fake?
Yes, the other 3 are actual Allen Ginsberg
He was
poems.
obsessed with
You ever,
it.
you ever meet Allen Ginsberg? He was such an ass.
Ah, yes.
Wait,
Yeah.
no, one of these, 3
Whoa.
of these are,
No.
Is false.
One of these is fake. The other
False,
3
false.
are real.
Yeah.
so
Allen
yeah,
Ginsberg.
so 3 are real and 1 is fake.
Yes,
Perfect. You got
You
it.
gotta say them again.
of course. Which of these is not an actual Allen Ginsberg poem? A. America, Your Face is Ass. B. Kiss Ass. C. Sweet Boy, Give Me Your Ass. Or D. Under the World, There's a Lot of Ass.
I'm gonna say D.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's
I'm
the-
just from the little I know about him, I'm gonna say D.
Okay, Cynthia, are you agreeing, or are you going to split off and be your own faction again?
You can have it. You can.
Well, no,
We say, yeah, but this is,
Yeah.
you're saying that one's,
he's saying
fake.
it's the
yeah.
fake.
I would have chosen a different one, but that's
Which one?
okay.
Which one?
So you're
I
going
will-
with
I-
D.
I always go to him.
I have a gut feeling.
Wow. Whoa.
So you're saying it's not true that there's an Allen Ginsberg poem called Under the World, There's a Lot of Ass. Final answer? Yes. Well, I'm afraid we're going to bury you with that one, Under the World, because under the world there is a lot of ass in a poem. by Allen Ginsberg. So, Vicki, you get to tie
get to
the game.
steal.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I dare ask you to read them again.
You asked me to read them again, huh? All right, here we go. Which of these is not an Allen Ginsberg poem? A, America, excuse me.
Face's ass.
Yes. B, kiss ass.
Kiss ass.
C, sweet boy, give me your ass.
Boy. And these are early poems?
I didn't say that. These are poems
Oh, lesser.
in his
lesser
career.
known poems.
Lesser poems, yeah.
Kiss ass.
Everything other than Howlin' Cow. These are lesser. So you were saying kiss ass is not the.
I'm going to say kiss ass is not. Yeah. It seems too simple.
Is that your final answer?
Sure, why not?
Right.
Mwah. That is for your face, Vicki, but I'm afraid that is not the correct answer.
Whoa,
No,
that's a stumble.
no. The
Which one is it?
incorrect answer, I made up because it sounded political. America, your face is ass.
Oh,
No, that no, C is Kiss Ass is from 1971's collection, The Fall of America, and both Sweet Boy, Give Me Your Ass, and Under the World, There's a Lot of Ass are from 1977's collection, Mind Breaths. Allen Ginsberg was an interesting fella. Okay, and a member of NAMBLA, by the way. Yeah. So, or defender of NAMBLA. I don't know if he was a member of it. But
That's why I knew that one
we
was
still
right.
have a 2-point game. But here's the deal, Vicki. Do not fret.
I could tie it up right now.
You could.
Well,
Actually,
first we have to get it wrong.
plenty of time because the questions get shorter, honestly. But here's this question. This is not a multiple choice. This is just a short answer, like, do you know it or not? The year was 2016. Stranger to Stranger is released today by Concord Records. It is the 14th studio album by this singer-songwriter, whose latest album, 7 Psalms, was released just 2 weeks ago. Name that New Jersey-born artist.
Springsteen.
Or is that your?
I thought
Sure, why not?
I thought it was. Oh,
Wait,
that's
this is Vicki's question.
okay, got it. Okay.
Okay. You're saying Bruce Springsteen.
Has
Sure.
to be.
Well, Vicki, you're not the boss of me. You're not the boss of me, and that is the boss is not. I'm afraid the right answer. Oh dear.
All right.
So, wow, you can build on your lead, Jeff and Cynthia, if you know the answer to this question. I'll read it again. The year was 2016. Stranger to Stranger is released today by Concord Records. It is the 14th studio album by this singer-songwriter, whose latest album, 7 Psalms, was released just 2 weeks ago. Name that New Jersey-born artist.
John Bon Jovi.
Could be.
Is that your final answer? Is it John Bon Jovi?
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid it's not Bon at all. Bon.
Who is it?
Not the question. You're gonna kick your. I could give you. I'll tell you a couple of other albums of his. Hearts and Bones, Rhythm of the Saints.
I just can't think the name.
Better known as someone, even though he's had a solo career for decades, really kind of still better known for being in a duet.
I don't know.
No points.
Sonny Bono. No.
Give a direct clue. It's hard.
Let me see.
What kind of music?
Rock, pop, folk rock.
Hall and Oates. It's either Hall or Oates.
Thank you.
No.
That's what I thought.
Oh, this. Oh, but you're gonna kick yourselves. I can't give. What was another? The name of the albums with this partner
Seals and Croft.
earlier in the day. No, included Wednesday morning, 3 a.m.
Well, it's Chris Christopherson, but
No, not Chris Christopherson. And Rhea Coolidge.
Willie Nelson. He's not from New Jersey.
Let's see who else. What are these?
Chris Christie?
Chris Christie. It is Chris Christie, isn't it? It is. He's gonna
be running.
Psalms is gonna be his presidential song.
Yeah.
Actually, that's closer to DeSantis. But so no, guys. The answer is a person who just released 7 Psalms 2 weeks ago. Paul Simon.
Oh, Paul
Oh,
Simon.
I didn't know he was born in New Jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wasn't married to Edie Brickell?
yeah, for
You
many,
should have
many years.
given that.
Well, I should have, you're right, married to Edie Brickell, that would have been a good one, you're right.
For some reason, I thought, you know, he was, I think
Bridge
of
over-
Forest Hills. I don't think of Jersey.
I think
Yeah.
he was born in Forest Hill.
Paul Simon.
Can you check on that? I could have gotten that wrong. I might have
Born in
gotten
New
it.
Jersey.
Paul Simon.
Well, I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Right.
He was born in Newark.
He was born in Newark, New Jersey.
What?
So this is the difference. He's right. So the Shubs are not right, but almost right. So he was grew up in Queens, but he was born in Newark.
Yeah. It would have been more
Yeah,
fair if I'd
yeah.
said this Queens raised artist. I think that would have been a little more, because
Never
I
heard of
said-
him.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
issue with a question.
That was misleading. That was
hey, look, we
really.
still have a 2-point game. And we're a little more than halfway. We've got one more round and then the tiebreaker. So, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, here we go. We have, so this is Jeff and Cynthia. You haven't played the game in a while, but there's another question that we do called Change One Letter. Have you been watching the, you?
Yeah.
We've seen
So
it.
there are two
I
answers.
like that one.
Oh, good. Yay. Well, maybe you will, maybe you won't. There are
She's
two
good at
answers
this.
to this one. Each is worth 1 point. So if you get it right. So, but one answer is only one letter different from the other answer. So you know how to play. You know how it's done. This is about someone who was born today in Mallorca in 1986. This left-handed tennis legend is unbeatable on clay. Change one letter for a word related to birthday.
That's hard.
That's what she said.
I don't know. No, it's American.
Hmm?
It's American.
Oh. What's related to?
Born in Spain, left-handed tennis player, plays well on clay.
That is, yeah. I mean, I'll read
I-
the poem again. And
I don't know.
I never
This-
watched
I'm
tennis.
just helping
I know
them with the
nothing about
clues.
tennis.
Okay, so something to do with birthday.
Birthday
Okay.
cake, birthday song, birthday party. Think things like that, and then change one letter to get to
Right.
the
Right.
tennis player.
Yeah.
Right.
Vicky, you are so Christian. You're actually helping other people. Right?
Yeah.
Why
What's the
not?
matter? Jews don't help people.
Yeah.
If Vicki would
Apparently
call,
not.
Vicky would call Leslie. Vicky, you gotta give Leslie a wake up call. That's the.
Well, it's too late now. Now we're
No, I
in
mean
it.
that's the Betty. We gotta give her a wake up.
Birthday gift, birthday present. Ooh,
Ooh.
because I got no answer.
Either. Oh.
I got nothing. So
Um,
I'm helping you because I don't know. I'm thinking names of tennis players, Spanish tennis players.
That's what I'm trying to do, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
we don't know any, so that doesn't help. So
Doesn't
we're
help.
thinking of words that have to do with birthday.
Right,
Well, birthday. Yes.
birthday, birth. Oh, your birthday, the day you're born. Oh, okay.
Related. Right. Well, in a manner. Well,
Labor. Yeah, I think we're really stumped. So
I'm
come up
stumped.
with a word then that has to do with birthday.
or
Party.
birthday.
You keep saying that like you're
I keep saying it
accenting
very
the
intentionally.
word
Yes.
birth.
Yeah. Birch.
No, that doesn't even work.
Oh no.
That-
It's like Alan Ludden and Peggy White on Password.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm totally stumped. I'm totally
I'm
stumped.
so not used to seeing you like this.
My. Oh my. Well, do you want
Wow.
to talk a name or something or what? Or
Um,
and this is a tough one. I'm definitely
Yeah.
tough, but yeah.
Yeah, because I always get these right. That's why this is so funny. but you really
Nah,
threw us.
I'm just getting nothing.
Something with birthday.
Birth, born.
All I can, so born
All right.
Which
and Bjorn, but that's,
Borg. I don't know.
That's not changing a letter.
No, not changing.
well,
anything.
born in
That's really
Borg.
clever.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Well, actually,
Bird.
wow. If you want to go, well, no, I can't. You give me an answer.
We'll just go with born and
Borg.
Borg.
That is a great answer.
And wrong.
And wrong, but it was so because of the Spain part. But that's born in Borg, Bjorn Borg. That's great. It's not right. So
Not
Not right.
Don't even come to me. I had no idea. I have no
No
idea.
coming up with
None.
that one.
No.
The whole left side is numb now.
go to a hospital.
Have a stroke.
Tennis
His-
players.
His
I
brain
don't know.
exploded.
Left-handed tennis player, born
that
in
didn't help.
Mallorca.
I'll read
No.
the poem again. This left-handed tennis legend is
Legend.
unbeatable on clay. Change one letter for a word related to birth. Okay.
Give it, honey.
Well, then let Vicki.
Oh.
She's saying nuns for fun or something. So yeah.
So they didn't get, so born can't be it, otherwise they would have gotten 1 point. So, okay, so birthday, your birthday,
A word related to birthday.
right?
Oh, I think I got it now.
Okay, go ahead and do
Let
it.
Vicki,
No, that's
Vicki,
all right.
are you
I
past?
got nothing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Nunsforfun.com.
What do you think it is?
Not Spanish?
That's Spanish.
Oh,
Wait, who are you-
okay. Well,
He's much older.
and he's much older.
Right.
Oh, no,
So-
no. What did you think it was?
Well, I was thinking labor
Oh, Rod
As-
Labor with.
yeah,
Well, labor, that's 2 words. Another, you're really thinking.
Really good.
That's good.
Really good.
Not the correct thing. We're looking for. He is actually. I mean, I don't really follow tennis that much, but he's considered one of the greatest of all time now. Even though he's pretty recent. First
yeah, 80s.
is
Okay.
Rafi. No,
Dampus. I don't know.
no, Rafael Nadal.
Oh, Nadal. Oh, and Natal.
Natal and Nadal. That's what we were looking. Oh,
Not in a gazillion years.
Rafi Nadal. No.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, really.
Okay.
Okay.
Jeff and Cynthia. Now this is interesting. This is incredible because we have Vicki Quade gets this next question. If you get it right, Vicki,
Yeah, right.
we'll have a tie game, and the
Sure.
tiebreaker will mean something. No. Here we go. And you're
Okay, let's do it.
probably gonna get this. This is 3
3 clues in the news.
Rafael, Nadal, and Natal. 3 clues in the news, Vicki.
I'm going to write them down. Go ahead.
I don't know if you hate them like Leslie hates
Three
these.
clues
I
in
do
the
hate
news.
them, but go ahead.
That's good to know.
One day you will hate like I hate.
So here we go. These 3 words are related, but not directly to each other. They're related to the word you're looking for in the news, kind of. Not kind of.
They
The
got
words
me
are-
costume.
Okay. Round, hood,
Hood.
cook.
Round,
Hmm.
hood, like a car hood, and cook.
Correct.
And they're related to something that happened. So the debt ceiling. What else happened?
Oh no, excuse me. I read it wrong. I read. Excuse me. What is that? No, thank you. It's round, hood, cock.
Oh,
I read it wrong.
That's what she said. Cock.
can I give a clue?
Not yet. It's, because this is big. If Vicki gets this, it's a tie game.
Okay.
So it's-
Um,
Say them again slowly.
Sure. The three words are
I'm
round.
just thinking shuttlecock. No, I got it. Round hood cock. I'm thinking shuttlecock, but I can't think shuttle hood, round shuttle. It doesn't seem right. What else would go with cock? And hood, car hood. Round tree, round of golf. Hood.
I got it.
I'm thinking about, and I don't want to spend too much time.
Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. That's always the trick. It's not to overthink it.
I can see Jeff and Cynthia are thinking something unbelievably filthy.
Mm-hmm.
It is not.
It's because now it's 150 degrees there. They're just,
Okay,
send your cousin some electrolytes. Give him some Red Bull or some Pedialyte.
I'm going to say table for no reason. Round table. I don't know. Cock table cock. I don't know. Maybe that's something. I have no idea. Hood table hood. I don't know.
You want to take another moment because this is the game right here, Vicki.
Oh yeah. Oh, believe me.
Don't put the pressure on her.
Well, I'm just saying if she passes.
Okay.
So do you want to go with?
Okay, it's not round table. Hold on. Round.
Wait. Bring it.
You should know this. Think of being a teacher.
Round class. Round. Assignment. Round assignment. Round.
Think
Yeah.
games children play.
Round merry-go-round, but Mary Hood. That's a merry cock you got there. Games children play. Ring around the rosy.
I can't wait to hear what Jeff and Cynthia thought the word was when it wasn't the word. Well, hold on.
That's right. Games they play: baseball,
Illegal.
track, soccer.
Did you say soccer, Mom?
I did say soccer.
Oh.
Games kids play. And school. I'm thinking.
Vicki, clearly we were not the same kids.
When I was in school, there were very few games, if any, for girls.
Oh, wow.
All the games were for boys. There was no. The boys had everything. They had baseball. They had volleyball. Well, until I got to high school, then I played volleyball. But in grade school, not a single game. We had Girl Scouts. We had stuff like that. The girls we had nothing. Nothing.
We used to double dutch with the nuns.
I think mine was co-ed even in elementary school. I think we all did the same
We
sports.
played the guilt game.
Yeah. No, the girls. We had Girl Scouts. That was it.
So listen. So Vicki, I'm going to need an answer now. I need a.
Yeah. No.
Tennis. Which means nothing.
These things are either you get them or
Oh,
you
you
don't.
don't,
It's
yeah.
either
That's it. I often don't get them. Okay, that's it. I don't know.
Okay, all right, so we got to pass on that. Nunsforfun.com for tickets to see Vicki shows. So Jeff and Cynthia, first of all, I got to hear what word you thought it or hoped it was. Oh, there they go again. All right, let's hear it, guys.
I'm always thinking of like fakakt, but
Fakakta. Okay, that doesn't go with round.
No.
I'll give a big clue.
Okay, what's the
Yeah,
big
because I
thing?
won anyway. So
Okay, want to hear the tweet, tweet,
Bird.
tweet.
that's a good clue. That's a very good clue.
Tweet. It's the rhythm of the tweeting too. Tweet. I feel like dancing. Tweet.
And believe it or not, that's a really good clue. Yeah.
Tweet.
Yeah.
All right, stop.
Transform.
I can't think.
Boy, I feel very red today. I'm feeling red.
Bluebird, red bird, round bird, bird hood.
What is a red bird?
Tweet. I'm
Robin.
dancing. I'm
Rockin' Robin. No.
What?
Rockin'
What?
Robin, rockin' round the clock.
That was you got it.
Robin,
Robin.
round Robin.
Robin Hood.
Right.
Robin
Now
Hood.
Robin.
Robin Hood.
I don't know
And
what.
Robin's at top.
It is
What?
Robin.
Round Robin.
Yeah.
Robin is
Round Robin.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
Bill Cock Robin is like another. You've never heard of that one?
I didn't.
Oh,
What's
Yeah.
that, Robin? What is that?
Not something it would come to me, but I've heard, yeah.
Third question in question. Look at this.
and anyway, the reason for the word Robin was that this past I probably Leslie or David would have gotten this one because Broadway set designer Robin Wagner passed away this past week at the age of 89.
Okay, everyone smile. Look at the camera and just smile. And I'm going to do a couple. Wait, hold on. We'll do one more because when I send these to Dave. Hold on. One more. Excellent. Okay.
Now we have just a couple of more minutes. We still have a tiebreaker. Anyway, don't forget that. So guys, do you have a pen and paper, Jeff and Cynthia, or a pencil or something?
Not handy.
Hang on.
You shout out. Our guest isn't logged on yet anyway, so I think we're okay. But I do want to do our tiebreaker. It is not a multiple choice. It is just a fill in the blank answer. Well, what's my Vic? Everything okay? You look.
Pen and paper.
No. So tiebreaker is just I'm going to read the question. You're going to write the answer. Oh my God, how far does a former teacher have to go for a pen and paper in your house?
Right here.
We're in the living room and we're
All right, so let's do this pretty quick. Great. Let's
All
do
right.
this quick. I'm going to read the answer. The year was 1917.
All right.
Born today in Manhattan is this actor who was nothing to spit at when he led Broadway's Dead End Kids, then Filmdom's East Side Kids and Bowery Boys. Without misspelling or mispronouncing it as he would, what was the name of this much married, alcoholic, and diminutive actor? Write it down. Don't.
That's right. Oh God, I'm trying to think of the name of the Dead End Kids.
Yeah.
Just a little. My mother was friends with them when they would come to Chicago and perform. She would, in fact, we have an autograph book that someone has where they all signed it. Because they used to just come and perform on stage. They would do.
Oh man, yeah.
They would play their shorts, and then they would come and play on
The shorts and their straw hats, which was kind of interesting. But
and my mother would hang out with them. So we had an autograph book that had all their names.
Well, this name might be in there.
It might be. I mean, I know a lot of their names, but I picked one.
All right. Guys, Cynthia and Jeff, do you have an answer? Because
Yeah.
we're coming up on time. So,
Write it down.
one more time. The year was 1917. Born today in Manhattan is this actor who was nothing to spit at when he led Broadway's Dead End Kids, then Filmdom's East Side Kids and the Bowery Boys without misspelling or mispronouncing his name as he would, that character would. What was the name of this much married, alcoholic, and diminutive actor? 3, 2, 1. Show it up.
I said Leo Gorcey.
And I can't see what you guys wrote. I can't.
Same thing, Leo Gorcey.
We have a tie.
Wow.
Well, Cynthia and Jeff won the game earlier, but congratulations, Cynthia and Jeff, and to Vicki. You did get it. Was Leo Gorcey, whose ex-wife Kay Marvis ended up marrying Groucho Marx. I did not even know that. So, guys,
All right.
30. I don't mean to rush you off, but everybody
No.
go see Vicki's shows at the Greenhouse Theater.
Buy my book. Buy
Oh,
my book.
and your book. Push the book.
I just got a
Don't
royalty
forget-
check. Other people have been buying it because I just got a royalty check.
Yay!
Close Encounters of a Chicago Kind.
All right.
Kirsch
And
Fest.
so and
Don't forget the last few days of Con in Manhattan.
Con. Oh, sorry.
On the musical.
Con the musical.
oh, that's right. Shia Porn's in there. Shia.
Yes.
Tomorrow closes.
Monday.
And Cynthia, good luck on your murder mystery.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cynthia, just be a good Nona. Be a good Noah.
That's right. All right, I
Yes.
gotta let you
All
guys
right, gotta
go.
go.
I get the Rabbi
Bye.
and Daniel Gwirtzman. Give kisses. Thank you guys so much for playing in the Daverhood. We'll see you soon. Have a great one. All right, and we gotta bring Rabbi Sal Solomon into the Daverhood to talk with dancer choreographer Daniel Gwirtzman. So don't go. I forgot to get the music on. Let's get Rabbi Sal's klezmer music going like this. Yeah. Two, three, four. Oh, shalom, my friends. Shalom, my enemies. This is your old pal, Rabbi. I feel like I'm looking in a mirror almost. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us in the Daverhood. I am delighted and excited to talk to someone who knows how to move. For 25 years, Daniel Gwirtzman has danced first with Garth Fagan and Mark Morris, and then with his own company. Why are you putting this on my head? Why? To distinguish between two bald guys. What?
Disco balls. They're disco
Disco,
balls.
oh, the disco balls. I get this. And I had disco balls, and they itched for a week. Anyway, we're talking with Daniel Gwirtzman. He founded Artichoke Dance, and then, God damn it with these things. I mean, his own dance company, which is called Daniel Gwirtzman Dance Company. He could have thought of something a little more original than that, I know. But he's also an assistant professor up in Ithaca College, and his company furthers the idea that dance should be open to everyone. And everyone you're going to want to go see. If you're in Ithaca, go see his show E-Motion. It's running from now until June 4th at the Cherry Art Space. I've got jokes I can make about that, believe me. Or if you can't get there, it's all right. They're live streaming this thing. You can pay $20 and watch it at thecherry.org/e/. They'll tell you. Anyway, won't you welcome and shalom to the Daverhood, Daniel Gwirtzman. Shalom to you.
Good Shabbos, Rabbi. It's wonderful to be here.
Good Shabbos to you
It's
too,
actually my second time in shul in the last couple of weeks, if we count today.
Why were you in shul the last time? Was it Shavuos? Why?
Well, it was a really happy occasion. It was one of my oldest friend's son's bar mitzvah, and I was called to the bima to lift the Torah, so that was really exciting as well.
Now, do you go to shul specifically on Simchas Torah so you can dance around with a Torah?
Well, I have wonderful memories of Simchat Torah in Washington Heights with, I live in a very Jewish neighborhood up in New York in general, but in Washington Heights, and definitely they love to celebrate and they don't hold back. So it was, yeah.
Now I have to ask, this is a very beautiful place. Is that where you live? Or are you in a library somewhere? I love what a perfect little place you are. Where is that?
So this is my virtual study, and I've been known for having some wonderful backgrounds to enjoy this Zoom experience. And yeah, so it's also part of the whole virtual aspect of this show that I've been involved in, and really working with technology to create these ulterior scenarios and settings.
So what was that like for you? I mean, having been a dance teacher and a choreographer, a dancer for all those years, and then suddenly, boom, March 2020, did you feel like the bottom fell out until you discovered, oh, we can do some things on the internet? I mean, what was that like for you running?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, happily, we were able to pivot very easily because the company's had a history of producing dance films for over the last decade. So we were in the studio up until just a couple of days before, that bomb dropped. And we had an engagement at Bryant Park in the city that was supposed to happen called Fantasyland. And so we turned that lemon into lemonade and made the Fantasyland project, which was a for the screen, a for the film medium project with 16 dancers in 16 different locations. Nobody in their living room. I thought we don't need to see anybody else in their living room and see all, so everybody went out to an exterior location and it was all done remotely and was an exciting project. So I appreciate the question so much, certainly because many were so deeply affected. We were one of the first companies to come back together and work. In August of 2020, we had a residency with a dozen dancers. We were working upstate, safely distanced, creating film work outside, wearing masks, getting tested, and we had no hitch. It really worked beautifully, and we were able, again, to just capitalize on some of this film work that we've been able to work on.
I do wonder, like, even back in the early day when you're trying to do Zoom and things, you've got 16 dancers or whatever, all in their little window. How does the choreography work where there's no delay? Is there just some sort of program you put into the computer that syncs the music so they're all hearing and dancing to it at the same second?
So the rehearsal process was all done individually, where I would Zoom with one of the 15 dancers. I was in that project as well as a performer. And we storyboarded. First, it started with finding a location. And these dancers were all over the Northeast. Not everybody was in New York at that moment. And so they were responsible for finding a place that could feed a fantasy, that could feed this metaphoric scenario. And then they would send pictures and videos, and then we would meet and we would have a choreographic collaborative process. They would go back to what was also unique about this project was each of the performers were responsible, each one was responsible for having that filmed as well, which means finding somebody that could do it, which wasn't the easiest thing during the pandemic, or setting it up with a tripod themselves if they had, being creative. And then I would, see that footage, and sometimes there were second takes or third takes. So after all that was done, it was edited together with the music as a film. It wasn't that it was a live experience.
I got it.
Yeah, so that it was easy to become tired of the Zoom squares or rectangles and, trying to elevate that and bring something immediate to folks.
Now tell us about emotion, which is, it's going to be live on stage and you're just filming for people to watch. But what is the idea of emotion?
Sure, and also that it's live for those watching too, without compromise. In your introduction, you mentioned that, but it's been designed for the TV screen. So there are multiple cameras and it's being edited in real time. So there's a live stream team that, like, at a sporting event is calling which camera next, this angle, push in, zoom out, overhead, blah, blah. So it's very immediate, up close and personal without compromise. Emotion is a collaboration with a playwright, Saviana Stănescu. She's a Romanian-born playwright of note. And we've both independently been musing on technology and the concerns, and certainly now with the exponential boom of Chat GPT and all of that's in the news every moment, it exacerbated this long-standing concern and curiosity. It's a narrative. There's a script, which is new for the company in our 25 years of performing, where there is a through line with consistent characters, and that is being heard through voiceover that was recorded by actors. And we are dancing in this dance theater hybrid that is between a neuroscientist and her artificially intelligent creature named H, which I portray.
Oh, so you're right. I didn't even realize you were in it. You're H, the thing. Does H have a personality, or is it, or because the whole thing of Chat GPT and AI is now they're having wit and personality and humor and pathos. Yeah. So are you just, or?
It's funny that you say they're having it, right? They're having it because we, the humans, are designing it so that they will have it. But, we are definitely anthropomorphizing H in this, because it's set a bit now and into the future where the biggest fear and concern and also desire is for sentience to come to AI, to have, a sense of consciousness. Again, I say that it's a fear and a desire because the capitalistic race to be the first is, of course, propelling this and couching these machines to be companions, to be, service instructors, to be babysitters, whatever it is.
Ex-partners, just saying.
Well, right. I mean, we read these crazy stories, Rabbi, of people that are, choosing to shack up with a robot. I mean, like tuning out the world and tuning into this, animated pet of sorts that can just give them the affirmation that they want and be so. But that's more the exception, of course, and there's something that we could find just humorously curious about. But the larger grave concerns are such that we don't know, how this could cause grave systemic disruption to life as we know it, or worse. And so the piece is not shying away from these ethical questions. This is a dance work. It is a very dense dance work. I'm thrilled. I just finished a 4th performance last night with another one tonight and final show tomorrow. It's an extended duet with a beautiful dancer, Sarah Hillman, who's a member of Daniel Gwirtzman Dance Company. And the music is a commemoration.
Isn't everyone part of the dance company? Or are they all, whoever's in the show, aren't they all Daniel Gwirtzman dance, unless you have a guest?
Yes. And this piece is a duet. So it's a bit character different of, some of our other repertory works, which involve many dancers. Yeah. I just wanted to mention that the music, which is from a dear collaborator named Jeff Story, who lived in Philadelphia and also worked for the Philadelphia Dance Company for years and years, i.e. decades, and was the long-standing 20-plus year collaborator, passed unexpectedly last April. And using all of his music from his archives, some that had never been heard before, some that are extracted from previous works that we collaborated on. Well, that's the sound score for the whole piece. And it's a real range. The Ithaca Times reviewed it as ranging from propulsive to electronic, and mentioned Debussy and Philip Glass in the review of his work, which is just so heartening that his art can live on, which of course is a hope as an artist, or I should say somebody in any discipline, that one's work has that chance to breathe and live.
Now let me ask you one other thing. I always loved the name, the early name, when you had the first company called Artichoke. First of all, why did you name the dance company Artichoke? And then why no longer Artichoke? Why has it been Daniel Gwirtzman Dance for 20 years?
Thank you for bringing that up. Artichoke continues and is alive and well, and at this point must have a beautiful harvest in store for the summer months into the fall. Artichoke Dance Company was started in 1995 by myself and 2 colleagues of mine from the University of Michigan, Amy Drum and Lynn Newman. And we formed it as a repertory company with Artichoke as its name precisely for its metaphoric value, as something that had a lot of different textures and layers, but was held together by a sweet heart, which was the heart of our friendship. We graduated together. We were young artists. We were new on the scene in New York. And we developed a company which was not common at that time. So the whole ecosystem of dance funding was shifting. The NEA was no longer providing the same kind of support that we had in the 70s into the 80s. And companies were disbanding. And yes, I had danced with Garth and Mark Morris, as you mentioned. And then I was also interested in continuing to choreograph alongside of performing. And at that time, when we formed the company, it just was not common to have a new company or independent choreographers even producing work the way that it's ubiquitous and has been for a long time now. So that very first concert was reviewed in both the New York Times and the Village Voice, under the headline in the Voice, "The Next Generation Young Companies with Strange Names." And we were a repertory company. I was making work. The other artistic directors were making work that were very different. My work tending to be more pure dance and abstract. Amy Drum's work more comedic. Lynn Newman's more acrobatic. And so they were very different textures. But again, there was that friendship that held it together. I left Artichoke in 1998-99 to form Daniel Gwirtzman Dance Company. Maintained a wonderful relationship. We were brought back for a 20th anniversary season and reprised some of the collaborative work we did. And that was a real excitement. Artichoke has a commitment to the environment and has long done a lot, both with social justice and environmentally friendly and important advocacy work. So, I'm proud that that company continues to flourish with a lot of work being done currently.
Mit Mazel. So the
Thank you.
work that you do with Daniel Gwirtzman, is it still because what you're working on e-commerce, I'm sorry, emotion, does not sound particularly abstract if you've got a script.
Yeah.
Is most of your other work with your company abstract-ish, or have you broadened, or what do you think of a dance? What are you thinking of these days?
Well, I so love that because abstract in a way that's highly accessible and allows a viewer way in. The mission of this company from the beginning is that everyone can dance. And that doesn't mean everyone has to physically be a dancer. It means that everybody can understand and appreciate dance and be educated about it to feel comfortable with your opinion. So a lot of times in concert dance, somebody's not sure what they're seeing, oh, I'm missing it, or I'm not equipped to speak about it, could be a common refrain. I like to turn that on its end and put the onus on the choreographer. In the medium of dance, if something is not being clear, then let's put the burden on the maker, not on the viewer, and that you can trust your opinion. It's okay to let your mind wander. It's okay to not like something. It's okay to be bored, but hopefully you are engaged and there's something. Rabbi, I think about when we go to the symphony and we're in a concert hall listening to music, we're not thinking, oh my gosh, why that chord right now? Why that? I mean, we might be, and certainly if we've studied music, we have a different way into that, but we let it wash over us. Or when we're at the art museum, we don't spend time in front of every single work of art. Some galleries we just breeze through, and then all of a sudden we might stand somewhere for 15 minutes. So it's the same in dance, but it's not considered good behavior to get up and leave the theater, although, folks historically have done that.
Wait, let me stop you right there, because that is one of the questions in all your years, so many years as a choreographer and also as a performer. What are some of the worst or funniest things, because things happen that you've witnessed either in the audience or on stage? What nightmare moments or hilarious moments have occurred?
Oh gosh, well, I'll have to pause and think about something that really stands out. I mean, even just a program falling onto a stage last night, for example. But I sort of peripherally see it, and then I know that it's not there. Somebody reached forward and grabbed it. In terms of nightmarish, I mean, that's a pretty strong
well, I mean,
question. Yeah, but like what are memorable? I would say something that stands out because it's summer, perhaps, is the company had a performance in Beacon, New York, which is outside of the city, and we were at a wonderful wooded area with an outdoor performance inside a beautiful barn theater. And this is a piece that you actually referenced in some of your promotional materials, a piece called Puzzle, and a classic work of the company's for three dancers that are, as Jack Anderson wrote in the New York Times at the time, creating a puzzle through our bodies, something like that he wrote. So we're very entwined. And as we were in these sculptural forms on the ground, we could see steam literally rising from our bodies. It was so cool. No, it was a wonderful experience.
It was hot, but it was cool and cool. Yeah. Well.
I mean, he doesn't really phase dancers, I don't think, but it was just that there was something kind of mystical and out of the ordinary about it. Oh gosh, I mean, there've been every performance has a memory, and I'd have to think more without talking to really reflect on like the highs and lows of that. Nothing immediately comes to mind, but just to finish that point, to empower audiences. So abstraction in dance with a script and emotion allows an audience to see how meaning can come to the words, how we can take words and translate them into movement. And through repetition and through the story, it's a really inviting way, wholly accessible. So while I did mention abstract at the time of Artichoke, since Daniel Gwirtzman Dance Company has been formed, there's been a real interest to take care of our audiences, and to really understand that, there's an opportunity and it's okay to not like something, but first to just trust your opinion. You're having one anyway. And to allow associations to happen. When we listen to music and we look at visual art, we think about other things. We want to think about other things. The same is totally kosher in dance as well.
Oh, I love that word, kosher in dance. It is kosher in dance. By the way, I want to remind people, first of all, that it's emotion, and it is happening, first of all, live and in person at the Cherry Arts Theater or Art Space at 102 Cherry Street in Ithaca. If you can't get there, if you're watching from New York City or Colorado or Israel, Hopefully Israel.
Yes,
Remember,
hopefully my cousins are tuning in from Jerusalem.
see, isn't that wonderful? They can pay $20 American and go to thecherry.org, thecherry.org.
It's right there on the main page. Yeah.
And watch it, live, which is a wonderful. Let me ask you though, do you remember, you probably do, the first time that you went to see, and it made an impression on you, a dance performance, as opposed to going to a Broadway show and seeing, we can talk about that too. But what was the first dance performance that you went to see?
So my parents wanted me to see the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater perform at Art Park, which is in Lewiston, New York. And they had seen Revelations, and my mom talked about Judith Jamison, as most people did who were struck by the towering presence that she was in the Ailey Company. And I was so moved by the performance. I was 12 years old, I think, and I became ill that night coming back in the car, just emotionally. I mean, it was just, my mother loves to tell the story. I think I was just so worked up emotionally from the extreme excitement of this performance, which of course is a masterwork. So Alvin Ailey's Revelations is one of the seminal dances, period, of this or any time, and has been seen arguably by more people, than any other dance. So being able to see this, which captures the African American experience and was a really seminal work from the time it premiered, 1960. So yeah, that's a very memorable performance. And I had just started studying modern dance at that time, but I had been dancing since birth, and I had been dancing folk dance, specifically Israeli folk dancing, through my temple, thanks to a wonderful mentor who's written into the history books, Molly Schaefer Rutzen. You could check her out in the Encyclopedia of Great American Jewish Women. And she was teaching, and it was required for everybody in Hebrew school at that time. But then once I, had the bar mitzvah and elected to continue to go to Hebrew high school, and I was with this troupe from kindergarten through my senior year of high school, we performed at Town Hall in New York, and would travel to other cities upstate and host festivals. And so that love of dance was fueled and informed by folk dance from an early age, which informs now and has for decades the pedagogy and the practice of my work.
I mean, the producer of this program, Dave, he remembers he was in Jewish elementary school, and dance was a required thing. But all it was basically just go around in a circle, hold hand, go in a circle, go like this, make believe you're ironing things because we're doing something about the ILGWU. It was just like, but it wasn't dance as we think of it. It was, as you said, folk dance. So you kind of moved away from that a little bit, at least.
Well, I would say not at all. I would argue the opposite. With respect, it's a continuum. Movement is movement. You can call it what you want, but at the end of the day, there's only a few choices as a human. If you're able-bodied and able to stand, then you could stand on two legs, on one leg, or on no legs. You could be in the air, or if you're seated, in a chair, in a wheelchair. There's various, but it's all movement, and there's really only, limited possibilities. As a choreographer, you're exploring the infinite possibilities within those parameters. Folk dance is pedestrian steps that anybody can do, and that's very characteristic of my work, which has a real pedestrian foundation. And its complexity comes through manipulating speed and rhythmic complexity and changes of direction and quick shifts of weight. But all of that shifting of weight and groundedness, which is really central to modern dance, that earthiness, that opposition to being airborne like ballet, and that verticality and elevation. Modern dance is the opposite. It's rooted into the earth and the ground. And of course, it's shared with many other forms all over the world. So, I would say that I haven't moved away from it. My teaching, which is pre-professional through professional, and the general community, creating multi-generational interactive community events where everybody can join. And I teach these folk dances and social dances. And, they really are available to us. We walk mostly, if we're fortunate to be able to walk, we, are taking steps. And then if you just make it faster, it becomes a run. And if you change directions, you might say, now it's dance. But I see that all as continuum.
So is that more Morris or Fagan or you? I mean, who was it? It's Mark.
So, well, it comes from my folk dancing. Now, Mark Morris had a folk dance background, and he was folk dancing internationally from the time he was young, and that informed his work. And so that communal humanistic element was certainly there in Mark's work, whereas Garth similarly community. Garth started his company in 1970 as the Bottom of the Bucket Butt dance theater. He had a vision, and he had a specific vision of the kind of dancer that would interpret his work, and rather than work with trained dancers, he was incorporating untrained dancers and formed this troupe that lost its bottom of the bucket, but within its first decade they were already internationally on the map. I'm bringing Garth up because I think there's a shared humanistic sensibility. It's certainly an African concept to dance for community, and Garth coming from Jamaica and the Afro-Caribbean influences in that work and in the structuring of that company, was also a very large influence for me as a dancer in that company, where you're dancing as part of a community and you're dancing from the inside out. And so that was shared. The difference is that Garth's work is highly stylized and a more specific stylization and technique. Mark Morris did not develop a technique. Mark Morris Dance Group's company class is a ballet class, typically taught by Mark, whereas Garth developed a technique, the Fagan technique. And so there was a different in terms of the realization. But I think from both, a sense of what it is to dance with others, which again harkens back to folk dancing, the circle you described, the great joy of dancing with somebody in a circle.
Now, as an artistic director, choreographer, and a teacher, do you find that it's been helpful that you've got these TV shows like So You Think You Can Dance and these ballroom dance competitions? Do you think that they've been helpful, or do they instill some bad habits in students? Like when kids watch The Voice things and they go, everybody's belting now and everybody's doing the melisma and all that crap. So has it helped dancers? Certainly, it's probably made more people interested in dance, quite honestly. But, what has been the effect of all these TV shows?
Yeah, the rising tide has lifted all boats. I absolutely believe that it has been a kind of new renaissance. Like if you think back to where dance was more part of popular culture, say in the 50s and the 60s, people doing the twist. I mean, listen, you could go back to the Charleston. Dance has always been a part of popular culture. But where you had, TV shows, American Bandstand or whatnot, where people were socially dancing, you had... now more people are tuning in and watching dance, like even TikTok. So yes, So You Think You Can Dance, Dancing with the Stars, all of this elevates dance. It promotes it. There's more exposure. And with YouTube and videos, people are learning themselves. They can watch it over and over and self taught dances. So I think from the viewer experience, I don't see this high-low art divide at all. I've been on record. Dance USA asked me to write an essay about that in 2008. That was called Fan the Flames. That was just about this very question. In terms of for the dancer, I mean, habits will form, certainly. I think it's a corollary to being in the room with a live instructor, hopefully not an AI dance instructor yet, but working with somebody, and taking dance classes. But I don't see really any negative side at all. I think it's exciting that, dance can be seen by more. And then I think it also ups the ante so that where there may be more stock choreography or things that we've seen before, as viewers become more informed, they start to become more discriminating and start to value innovation more and recognize, I've seen this, but this is new and I like seeing something new. And so it also expands future dance makers and artists that way.
Now, speaking of the future, I know me, I'm all gray in the beard, a little bit of black. You're still the black beard, you got a little gray happening. So the life of a dancer, by 35, you're ancient. So how did you see yourself, how long dancing, since, you're starring in emotion there. So how much at some point do you step away, I'm just a girl, or you come on in roles that aren't so particularly demanding,
Thanks for this question, because it's really personally meaningful as a dancer to be able to dance for over an hour in this production, on stage the whole time and really be quelling in the experience as a dancer, like just to be so grateful to be able to be doing this. A lot of wonderful role models and mentors. I mean, Merce Cunningham continued to dance into his 80s, and he would insert himself into his pieces and do a solo, whether standing or in a chair, and that excited audiences, for sure. Martha Graham continued to dance well into her 60s. And Rudolf Nureyev. Now, Graham and Nureyev didn't quite honor, we could say, the time when they should have stepped down. It was hard for them to accept aging as a dancer and to get away from that. So by the time Nureyev returned to Russia for the first time after defecting, the audiences that had been waiting for decades to see him do some of the ballet work was, critically speaking, past some of the prime. And at the same time, the audiences were by and large thrilled to get to see him. So that's more of a historic response to your question. Just going back to Garth Fagan's company, Steve Humphrey, I'd love to shout out, has been a member of the company since 1970 and still performs with the company. And yes, he joined as a kid. No, he joined as a young adult. And so dancing into 60s and 70s is commonplace now. And I mean, it's not that every dancer will, but you have to be lucky enough to not sustain an injury that could shorten a career. And I have colleagues for whom that has affected. So, that's why I say I don't take that for granted. It's a great joy to wake up in the morning, get out of bed, swing my legs off the side of the bed, and be able to then go to the studio and dance. I dance with the memory of my father, who passed 2 years ago, and other dear family and friends whose life just gives me courage and encouragement to just continue to push myself and challenge myself as a dancer.
Well, we are pushed and challenged by the wonderful Daniel Gwirtzman. I got one more question for you, but first we're going to push your show. It's E-Motion. I want to remind you, it's running through June 4th at, that's tomorrow. I keep saying
tonight and tomorrow. Yeah.
At the Cherry Art Space in Ithaca, New York, or if you can't physically get there, go watch it. It's on a live stream at thecherry.org, thecherry.org, and there's a /E-motion. Or if you just go to thecherry.org, there'll be a link right there where you can look at that. You also want to see his website. It's gwirtzmandance.org, and there's clips from YouTube of all these other dances that you've been doing and we've been talking about over the years, so you can get a sense of what Daniel Gwirtzman does or leading up to his newest I keep wanting to say e-commerce. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. You know what? The dance nonprofit world needs more e-commerce. So venture capitalists that are listening, let's marry e-commerce to e-motion and make it available for free for everybody and broadcast it around the world. But the last thing I'd just like to say is, in addition to the gwirtzmandance.org, during the pandemic, the Rockefeller Brothers Fund helped provide leadership support for an initiative that we created a new website. It's called dancewithus.org. And I invite everybody to come to that. It's to demystify the concert dance experience, things we've been talking about in the spirit of making dance accessible and understood. There's a wealth of information there. It's a real trove of videos. It's all free, and it's dancewithus.org.
dancewithus.org. I'm not going to let you go because, of course, we've talked so much about dance, but we've never even gotten personal. I'm so sorry that you lost your papa to you. Was it COVID or just was something else?
My father had Parkinson's, and he lived with it with grace as long as he could, and he had tremendous support from his family and huge circle of friends. My father was a real mensch. He loved to dance. He was the boy everybody wanted as their date because he studied tap as a kid. Everybody wanted him to be their date, in high school and college. He graduated with a business degree and moved to New York, got an advertising job, loved musical theater, saw Barbra Streisand in her debut performance and I Can Get It For You Wholesale on Broadway, saw Lucille Ball in Wildcat. And then, It's a Wonderful Life, the Jimmy Stewart story. My grandfather was ill. My father left his job in New York City, came to Rochester to help out, and met my mom and never moved. So.
And your mom is okay? How's she doing?
She came to see the show in Ithaca last weekend, and it was along with some other family, and a lot of friends. So yeah.
And on the personal side, is there a person in your life? You dating? Are you partnered? What's your situation, if you will?
So this summer marks a 10th anniversary, and my husband, Stefanos Milkidas, is from Greece, And I have Greek family. We had a big fat Greek Jewish wedding. We had in Rochester 10 years ago. There was it was held where the International Jazz Festival is held, which used to be a Jewish community center in Rochester downtown in the 1930s, a beautiful ballroom. And the company performed throughout the evening. And we did Greek dancing, we did hora, of course. And yeah, so I'm happy to share that.
Well, I am horroring in my mind. Not the way to put it, but what a joy to be here with Daniel Gwirtzman. DanceWithUs.com or org.
.org, yeah, .org.
DanceWithUs.org. Dance with Daniel Gwirtzman. Go see his show Emotion also. And I am emotional talking to you and seeing you. I thank you so much for being in the Daverhood with us. And shalom to you.
Thank you so much. Shalom.
Shalom. Oh my goodness, Daniel Gwirtzman, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, what a delight. So, yes, I feel like I'm going to do a little bit of, he says anybody can dance. I can't, but I can do this. Look at this. It's actually better if I do it with music. Hold on, because I'm going to dance off and then bring back Dave to do more of the Dave's Gone By program. So let's try this one. Hold on. Yeah. Hey! Sexy dancing. Look at this. Oh yeah. Oh. Huh. Well, I'll do a leg. Oi. Oh, God. Yes. I would pick up the foot that has the hole in the sock. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave is coming. Don't go away. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, yes, it is a little bit after 11 o'clock in the morning. I can't believe, it's going to make it seem like I wear old, raggy clothing, but really it's just...
Not you.
I hand me down to Rabbi Saul.
Don't most religious people take some vow of like poverty or chastity or something?
I don't know about chastity or poverty. Well, come to think of it.
Doesn't he take a vow of poverty?
But, it's the thing about socks. They do this. When I buy socks, I hand them down to the rabbi.
Or when I buy socks for you.
Yeah. You ever notice? I don't know why they do this. They're put together. They're not just in a bag, and they're not just wrapped in like cardboard or stuff, but they put like this little plastic wire through them that sort of holds them together. And if you're too lazy to go get a scissor or something, or if you do get a scissor, you cut wrong, you end up like tugging and pulling, because it's this tiny little plastic strand, and it's got little like T shapes on the end of it, right? So you want to, and you figure it's very thin wire. So you pull them apart, right? But sometimes when you pull them apart, it's already going to take like a little bit of a divot into the sock itself, and now you've got a brand new sock. And it's already just got a slight little whatever, and then it just grows and it turns into a hole. Why do they do this? What is the purpose? What is the purpose of holding in a bag?
I think it's anti-theft. Because there's a lot of sock crime.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. I mean, I can understand if there was financial crime from, sock brokers. Well, you know what? They said a caper is a foot. Anyway, I'm Dave Lefkowitz.
Are you just pulling my leg?
Ooh. Yeah, that's my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. You're watching the...
How did the interview go with the rabbi and the...
Oh, he was delightful.
I heard a lot of laughing.
He was very lively and very fun. And
Did he teach the rabbi any moves? I saw the rabbi putting a leg up.
No. He says everybody can dance.
Did he discourage the rabbi?
Rabbi kind of discouraged himself. It was kind of like, you don't want to see me or Rabbi Saul Solomon do any kind of dancing. It's just not a good look. And I mean, by dancing, I mean even doing this. Just not not, see, already it's uncoordinated. I manage it for like, do, do,
You have good rhythm.
do,
You know how to dance, honey.
no, I can move with some level of grace.
You took a class on dancing, didn't you?
Oh, it was horrible, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was embarrassingly bad.
Was anybody good at it?
Well, yeah, no, a lot of my classmates, this was back in, when I was getting my master's, yeah. So, yeah, we had to take about, remember these were all day classes because it was all compressed. So about 3 to 5 days of dance history, how to teach dance for, in terms of musical theater, if you're teaching theater kids, dance. So we're not talking about trying to be Martha friggin' Graham or Bob Fosse. It was just along the lines of understanding dance as a movement that was, and speaking of movements.
I still don't understand why the Shubs moved to Arizona.
What do you mean?
It's,
You get, well, New York is a shithole. What do you mean?
no, it's so hot. They have like a fake lawn. Like, why did they?
I don't know, they seem to be enjoying it. And when you get to a certain age, weirdly enough, 70 degrees is freezing.
Even I don't think for us.
Well, not yet. Well, I don't know. I've gotten to the point where I used to like it like 66, 67, nice and bracing. And now I'm like 67 degrees. I'm like blowing on my knuckles. And I'm like, I'm over the summer now, you know, I'm keeping the house at like 70 instead of 68 or something, or over the winter. I get chilly sometimes, either upstairs or downstairs in the house, much quicker than I did when I was in my 20s. And when I would make fun of my grandmother, yeah, just wrap that up.
I can do what I want. You're not the boss of me.
You're not the boss of me.
I gotta stick it in this holder.
That's what she said. No, but we won't, you know, I look at Grandma Lucy and we'd all be like, Grandma, it's 73 degrees in here. We're schwitzing. She's like, I'm cold. And her skin was like crepe paper.
But she was part lizard.
Which is why you get these old people in Florida, and when it's 75 degrees, they love it.
But I want to know why the Shubs chose Arizona compared to other states.
I don't know. Maybe real estate there was good. I don't know if they have other family. I could have asked. I didn't think of it. They seem happy. They've got they're schwitzing, they've got a giant pool in their backyard. I guess that certainly beats swimming in the Atlantic Ocean and getting like a needle in your ass and shells in your feet, you know, and then toxins.
It's a beautiful song. I loved it.
Which one?
Needle in your ass, shells in your feet.
Needle in your ass. Actually, there was an Allen Ginsberg poem. Needle in your ass. Ah, yes, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
think Leslie didn't show up because she doesn't want to give up the crown.
Oh, I wonder. You know, we mailed her the trivia crown a couple
I
of
think
weeks
she
ago.
wants to keep it, so she's kind of laying on.
I wonder. Well, no, because to be fair, I asked her for most of the week. I said that we were going to do the quiz late in the show, later than usual. But then we had to do a couple of switching things around, and you know, I emailed her yesterday, you know, last night, and I said, "Hey, Leslie, can you, you know, kind of urgently need to move the quiz earlier?" And she's like, "I don't know." She was like, "I'm half joking. I don't know if it's worth it." So I'm like, you know, what did she say?
She said, "I'll renounce the crown and send it back. I already signed it, but you can cut my name out or paste some paper jewels."
Oh. Yeah, because it's
She slept through a pill alarm.
Oh, that's not good.
What should I tell her?
Well, it depends on the pill she was taking.
Keep the crown.
You keep the crown until it's time. It's no big deal. Otherwise, I have to send her the Shub's address. Actually, wait, don't send that yet.
Okay.
Let me decide. Maybe I'll ask the Shubs if they want the crown because they're now
Oh,
the
I
new
think they
champions
will.
this week.
I
Yeah,
think they will, but if you send it to Arizona, it may melt.
that's true.
But that's okay.
By the way, we've been calling this episode "The
Dance
Way
fever.
We
You should
GWIR."
call it Dance Fever.
I wanted to get GWIR for Gwirtzman in there, which I think works. So,
Did he like that?
well, the interview went great. I thought it went.
Oh, did he like the title?
Oh, I don't know if he knows it. I don't know if he.
Oh.
Well, he saw the promotional material, so he might have. He didn't object. You know, so I didn't make fun of Gwirtz, which been like love Gwirtz or you know.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, kind of
I like that.
love Gwirtz. No, that's anyway. Well, we have our Colorado Limerick of the Dam coming up.
Didn't you tell me there are no more,
What?
here, tell them this. That there are no more, old times, right?
Well, we do have,
Did I miss
we
it?
have a couple left from.
What's the story on that?
I wish I knew. So here's the deal. We also do Greeley Crimes and Old Times, which is a mix of stories that come from the Greeley Tribune newspaper. They're real things. One column is phone calls that come into the local police dispatch, but they're the weird, funny, odd phone calls about stuff going on in the neighborhood. And they're compiled every week by Morgan Mackenzie in the Tribune. And then there's also been a column that's been in there for years called 100 Years Ago, where Mike Peters from the Trib looks through the newspapers back from literally 100 years ago, from 1923, and finds things that were published back then that when we look at them now, you know, it's cute, it's old time, and oh, they're talking about Model T Fords and, you know, sheep on the streets and whatever else it was. And so they're both fun, and we mix them up together every week and share them with you. So for the longest time, there were no new cop logs. Well, there were no new cop logs. It was sort of like, and I emailed Morgan Mackenzie, and she said, well, there's been a glitch in trying to get these things published from the police department and stuff. And it was about 3 months before we had new cop logs, until finally they started again. And she's been on top of it, and it's been great. We've got a bunch of them. However, wouldn't you know, as of a month or so ago, there have been no new 100 Years Ago from the Trib or from Mike Peters. So I emailed him. I haven't heard back. I emailed her yesterday just to maybe nudge him, or maybe she knows. Has Mike, you know, Mike is not a spring chicken. Did he retire? Or is he just taking a long break from doing his columns in the Trib? Is someone else going to take it over? Or they just decide, you know, we don't need cop log anymore? I don't know. So I'm hoping it is not the end of cop log. It's not the end of 100 Years Ago. But we will persevere. We're going to do our segment of Greeley Crimes and Old Times. We'll do we still have a couple of 100 Years Ago, but it's mostly going to be current stuff and maybe one or two elsewheres. As a matter of fact, let's get that done. Let's do it right now. It's Greeley Crimes, let me find the paper, and Old Times. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Greeley Crimes and Old Times here on this Saturday morning, June 3rd, 2023.
I can't believe it's so late already in June, Bubba.
Well, it's only the third day of June.
I know.
It's so late into the spring. We got summer coming up in like 2 weeks, 2 through 3 weeks.
I want to write with you later, baby.
Oh yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. So, but first,
Okay.
criminality.
I gotta get out the.
Yes, yes you do. Here we go.
Okay.
Are you ready, babe? A caller! I don't even have the location on this. I zapped out the location.
Just say 8th and 8th.
It ought to be 8th and 8th because this caller.
Are you put this cooler? Are you warm?
I'm fine. I'm great. I'm golden. Remember, I'm older now.
No, I'm drinking hot tea. That's fine.
A
Okay.
caller.
Tea?
Yeah, I'll have a sip. Thank you very much. It's not hot anymore. It's now very drinkable.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So, I probably should have kept where this was.
Oh, no, maybe not.
Because this caller reported finding a huge pile of blood and guts in an alleyway. Which is, I guess that we probably would want to know where that
I
was.
think it was probably outside the butcher shop.
Actually, it was outside a grill. It was meat from a grill or whatever.
Oh.
Why he thought it was blood and guts, I don't know. But,
One night. One night.
Well, here's another one. A caller on 18th Street said that a man kept going into an alley behind apartments with scissors. He told the caller's boyfriend that he was running from the cops. And yet he told his mother he never would run with scissors. No, I added that part. What? If a cop sees you and you have scissors in your hand, he's going to shoot
I
you.
believe he was doing paper mache.
That could be
Or
it.
maybe he was making the guts in the alley.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You're related.
This is why police do have a hard job, you know? Man. A caller on 20th Street Road. Oh, it was a short road. Reported a suspicious younger man wearing gloves and a mask.
For a young man.
A very young man. And the young man's explanation was that he was parkouring outside of the apartment complex. What is that?
Parkour. So parkour is where you climb surfaces. It's like when they jump from roof to roof, or they climb a
Oh,
brick
so
wall.
gloves.
You
Yeah.
might need gloves to grip, and yeah.
And a mask for
'Cause he's a
COVID.
ninja. He's a ninja.
That could be it. He's like Spider-Man
Yes.
thing. Yeah. Oh, I like that. I've been thinking about getting one of those ninja grills. Are those?
Yeah, I think if we could afford it, the best one for you would be the egg. It's like $400 because it's a smoker, a grill. It's like it's tiny. It does everything. It's like remember in Colorado, the prior house owner, he said like it's perfect. The size is perfect. It's like let me look it up.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I've seen the egg. It's an egg
But I
smoker.
don't know why he said. Sorry,
Why it was so perfect? Well, like, as you said, if it can grill and do smokehouse kind of smoker, I'm in. You know.
I don't know why he.
And by the way, I'm not for smoking.
It's
It keeps you lung cancer, and I hate that.
Ace Hardware has one for like $300.
Mm-hmm.
But they go up brand new big green egg. I guess they're summer name brand. I don't know why it's.
Well, we can wait till summer's ending, and they'll probably have big sales on them. But
I'm gonna say why buy it. I'm curious. I forget what he said because it was a while ago.
yeah, this is my God, this is 15 years ago now,
Yeah.
at least.
It says
Yeah.
it's more than a grill,
Mhm.
more durable, provide better heat retention. Remember we learned that. Versatility, high temperature grill for grilling. It's a roaster. You can like roast a turkey. And then it's like slow and low smoker.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also an outdoor oven, like you can make pizza on it. So
Oh
I
God!
think it's like one,
We are so getting this.
and it says like it lasts a lifetime guarantee for 40 years, right?
Well, I think I do like that it says it lasts a lifetime. It's like if it blows up and kills you, it has lasted your
No,
lifetime.
it says it will never rust, jam, or wear out. It's ceramic heat.
Oh, it's ceramic. I like that. Does the outside stay? It'd be cool if the outside stays cool.
I don't
I
know
would
if
like
you use
that.
charcoal or gas or what.
I don't know. I would probably rather use gas because I don't want to have to deal with lighting stuff on fire. That scares me.
How the egg works.
Yeah.
They have a whole website.
Ooh. The egg smoker. She's literally looking at an egg smoker website on there.
Oh, you put charcoal.
Really?
It says,
What?
use our Speedy Light natural charcoal starter or electric or butane starter. Never buy lighter fluid.
Ah, good. Yes.
And then it says safer to use.
I use the heavier fluid myself.
Doesn't get as hot as a metal grill.
Good. I like that.
I don't understand. Easy cleanup.
Well, we need to do more research on it. If I'm thinking about getting something like this.
FAQs. I don't know how do you cook? What is it? Is it electric?
Well, I guess it's like a grill. You open it up, you put meat on it, or veggies, or children you don't like.
Oh, is it charcoal or gas? It's not a gas propane grill. It's fueled by a natural low charcoal. So that's
So
why
it's
too. It's just charcoal. Yeah, but the good thing is there's no gas or electric, so it's not gonna.
It's going bad, but then you have to light the fire. You got to get rid of the old charcoal. You got to dump it. There's ash. I don't know. I got to think about this more. Yeah. I like my foreman. I have an air fryer, a foreman, and a slow cooker. I'm doing pretty well.
It says it's 100% green. I mean that.
Oh, that's all
You
right.
just buy a big box of charcoal.
I'll think about it. Maybe. It was always a treat when Mom and Dad and I would go on picnic things, and we had a hibachi. We take this hibachi grill or go to a place where they had hibachis there, and they would bring charcoal and they squish on a little lighter fluid. I was scared of it, but you
they
just
have
light it on
knockoffs,
fire.
too. They have a lot of knockoffs.
And it was a night. There is something to the taste of. It's even different from like a regular grill of barbecuing over charcoal in a park. There's something about
So-
the taste of it. Yeah.
Weber or whatever has a Summit Kamado, which is equivalent performance of the egg, but it's half price.
I'm down with that.
What is it called?
Was it Weber or Marx? That's a little comedy right there. Just a little.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Consumer Reports says the thing is it worth that.
Oh, well. Well, it's worth it for $100 or $200, maybe not 400. And besides, if you get the egg, you have to get sperm along with it. So that's a little comedy too, my friends. Anyway, we're doing Greeley Crimes in Old Times. So let me do another one. A caller at Bittersweet Park said a naked woman was there bathing in public. You know, normally I don't check out these stories myself, but I may have to do some research on this one.
How would you
What?
in a park? Is there?
Yeah, well,
Is
there's
she in a
probably.
fountain or something? Is she just taking it all?
Maybe be awful if she was just by the water fountain, going like.
Bittersweet. We worked at Bittersweet.
Yeah, I know
Bittersweet
these
is a
places.
big one. It's near. It was near the supermarket and the ice cream place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's a big lake.
So maybe, you know, it's how they did it 500 years ago. You just go to a lake and
But like people are passing and kids and stuff. You don't want to show people you.
you know, invariably, it's not going to be a hot like 19-year-old girl.
You don't know.
No. If this is a naked person bathing in the, unless it's like, you know, after a horrible, booty call at night.
No, I think probably what happened, they went to the Baskin Robbins and they probably spilled ice cream on themselves. That could happen.
How do they get ice cream like?
Happens. Sometimes
Happen.
maybe it's very hot and like they went to Arizona. Colorado's hot. And they just melted and
But
spilled.
remember, she's not washing her clothes. She herself is
Yeah,
bathing.
but maybe it also messed her.
That could be. Anywho, let's do one old time. Just
They
one.
never wrote you back, eh?
Not yet. Well, I just got in touch with Morgan, but Mike never wrote me back. I have his email, or I believe I have his email, so I hope he's okay.
Me too.
In Missouri, the state legislature tried to pass a bill destined for the U.S. Congress, which would repeal the state laws and replace them with what? That's 1923, Missouri. What would they want to replace state law with?
The Confederate Constitution.
Great idea, but this is no.
Allen Ginsberg's poetry.
Wow, no, that's California. That's good though. I like that. And like, codicil number 1, ass. Give me your ass. Yeah. So no, 10 Commandments.
Oh.
No, not aw. Fuck is wrong with these people?
Oh.
The session adjourned before the bill could be passed. Oh well, Missouri. Man, this is 1923.
Yeah.
This is the Roaring Twenties already. This is after
That's
the Civil
why,
War.
The Prohibition, all the carry
Unbelievable. Wow. Let's do an elsewhere or two. Now, elsewhere means that even though it's Greeley Crimes in Old Times, there are weird, funny stories from all over the country, all over the world, and we want to share one or two of those with you too. So these are real stories again. This comes from Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, Occidental wants to listen.
Speaking of something, where he hasn't done it yet. Where's Oxy?
He wants to listen. He wants to be educated.
Look, isn't he adorable? This is little baby Axolotl. Axolotl, excuse me. Look how you're so sweet. That's really cute.
We should have bought another one.
Yeah, we went back to get one more because, and they were gone.
Yeah, because people like them. They're cute and adorable.
But it's unique. Oh, it feels so
Who
nice.
wouldn't want a baby Occidental?
You didn't want any axolotls when I first started
don't want
buying them.
anything. I don't want better that than a living one we have to care for. Yeah.
Oh, living ones are. I would love to see. Wouldn't you like a little tank of
They're
axolotls?
endangered.
They're endangered in the wild. They're flourishing in the home market.
That makes no sense.
I know. I
That
don't.
makes no sense.
Just take them from the home tanks and throw them in the ocean, and they won't be endangered
I
anymore.
don't get it.
I don't either. Anyway, a 64-year-old Kentucky man was mad that his roommate had eaten the last Hot Pocket.
Yeah, Hot Pockets are very popular.
Hot Pockets! So what did he do?
Shoot him
Where?
in the nuts.
In the ass!
In the nuts.
Amazing. Shoot Me in the Ass is not an Allen Ginsberg poem. Shoot Me in the Ass is, of course, a Wesley Willis song.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be sad? So if it wasn't the guy, I'll tell you because
Yeah.
in the dorm people used to take food all the time when you leave it in the fridge, you know,
Yeah.
and then you get your own little tiny fridge. But it was sad. Like I always felt like mad because so first you feel angry because you want that food and you're dreaming of it and you go there and it's missing. So you understand that rage. But then I said, I feel bad if the person's so desperate for food that they took it, you know, they really might need the food.
You have too good a soul.
Yeah.
I just, because first I'd be mad that it was missing, and then I'd be angry, and then I feel violated. I'm like, somebody took my shit.
You know, some people were like poison the food. I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, that's like a
No,
psychopath.
that's pushing.
That's like
And basically only because you might forget. You might be wake up 1 o'clock in the morning, need a little snack, and you've forgotten that you poisoned your own food.
The worst thing with having like dorm mates was like we had one stove in the main part, and somebody would always burn like pasta or leave something boiling. It's like who left or whatever. It's like
that's an accident. I mean, that happens. That's just one of those things. But you got to clean up after you. But there's more to this.
Oh no.
There's more to the Hot Pocket ass shooting story.
I bet you the guy didn't even take it.
Oh,
like that would make me sad if you shoot somebody and they didn't take the thing.
Well, this gets pretty wild. Clifton Williams became enraged after learning the frozen snack was gone.
Oh.
So, before the shooting incident,
Yeah.
he started throwing tiles at his roommate.
Well, the roommate should have known something wasn't right.
Well, the roommate then tried to flee the home,
You could.
but not before Williams went inside, got a gun, and shot him in the ass.
Like, this is a mortal story. Like, for that family or group, they need to go to Costco and get a bunch of Hot Pockets.
Multi-hot, but the freezer has to be big enough to hold all of them. That's the issue.
Do Hot Pockets need to be refrigerated? Yeah. What's a Hot Pocket?
I think they do. I think
Is it meat?
it's like a little burrito.
Like a knish?
Close to a knish, but knish with meat in it. Apparently, they're really tasty.
Okay.
Jim Gaffigan got famous, and we know him for the manatee
Yeah.
thing. But Jim Gaffigan got famous on his bits about Hot
He loves
Pockets.
Hot Pockets.
And loves
Yeah.
Hot Pockets. So apparently, they're delish.
I want to see what it is.
And there's nothing healthy in them.
Is it,
It's sort of like
is
a
it
burrito.
meat?
What,
No, okay.
what do they call it? Pupusa?
Pupuseria?
What
What is a Hot Pocket?
According to Wikipedia, Hot Pockets is an American brand
Oh,
of
turnover.
turnovers generally containing one or more types of cheese, meat, or vegetables. Hot Pockets was founded by Chef America Inc.
Okay, so
Oh, it means saying you have a lot of money, like a Hot Pocket.
that's Clavs.
Oh, apparently they're very good. Oh, look, Hot Pockets at Costco. They're very good. Wow, you can get a lot of them.
Yeah, well,
You
but
can
don't
get-
take the last one.
Oh, no, look.
What? Oh. Joyce is showing me there's a page not found in Costco. I guess maybe there's been a run on Hot Pockets.
Look at, I did the 21 too.
It's empty pockets.
That's a weird.
Oh, there's nothing but lint.
Ham and hickory Hot Pockets. Look,
Oh, ham and hickory, that sounds good.
they have no Hot Pockets at
But I mean, it's
Costco.
just pure garbage and salt and dough. There's nothing good or healthy.
Oh, pepperoni pizza,
Yeah.
ham and cheddar.
Mhm.
They make a pizzeria one, a lot of ham and cheddar, meatball marinara.
You understand it's getting towards lunchtime and you're making me unbelievably hungry
I
now.
don't know
Yeah.
why are they so popular? I'm gonna ask.
Because it tastes yummy. And
Why are Hot
yeah.
Pockets so popular? People find pleasure in different things. They release dopamine. Wow.
Whoa.
When?
I gotta start eating
Oh, they
it.
began in 1983. They were sold to restaurants because they were easier to break in than retail stores. Then they sold them. Why are they so addictive? They say they release dopamine. I don't know why. Anything good will.
Well, actually, think about it. What have I been getting from like Mom's and the other places? These samosas from the Indian place, where it's basically a little turnover
Oh.
with green sauce.
So it's the Jim
And they're good.
Gaffigan, the untold truth of Hot Pockets.
Here we go. Yeah. What is the untold truth of Hot Pockets?
They were developed by immigrants. Weird stuff.
Oh.
I don't understand.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, if they were doing dumplings and turnovers and cheap things with filling with whatever's been left over. It makes sense. You know, could be chopped meat, could be little bits
They
of.
changed it. People are not happy with the new recipe.
Oh no!
Hot Pockets drove a man to murder.
Let's hear this. The one we have just got shot in the ass. He's fine.
Yeah, it says a man dispatched a sister and boyfriend to get the frozen snacks, but the store was out of his pepperoni Hot Pockets. And they told him,
Yeah.
and then he approached the side and shot the boyfriend 8 times. He said, I just snapped. So
Wow.
Hot Pockets are involved in a lot of stuff.
I see this. Maybe the guy was aiming for the pocket. I don't know. It just,
Let's see, I'm going to do this for you.
Yeah.
Hot Pockets jingle. Here you go. Oh, wait.
Yeah. I heard it. I heard it.
I don't know how to make your phone loud.
Oh. It's the. Huh, I still prefer the way Jim Gaffigan does it.
Pepperoni pizza or ham
Well,
and cheese in a crispy pocket.
Where you gonna pick? Hot Pockets.
Try lean pockets too.
oh, lean pockets. Yeah, they're getting. Yeah. Lean probably still has the same amount of salt. It's just
Oh,
they
God, it
scrape
won't
out some of the
stop,
fat.
baby.
Stop it! Stop it!
It won't stop.
By the way, the roommate is expected to recover. Williams was arrested and charged with assault. In fact, he was charged with
Ew.
1,500 milligrams of
What are you
assault.
gonna do? Pick Hot Pockets, the hot meal in a pocket.
Well, yeah, there you go. Joyce is fascinated with
Their
Hot
whole
Pocket.
name was Tasty Witch.
Ew, what? Really?
Tasty, like sandwich. Yeah.
Oh, tasty. Yeah, Hot Pockets is better. Hot Pockets is a much better name than Tasty Witch. That's a terrible name. You gotta fire the marketing director on that.
A baby on the floor.
I dropped him accidentally, so.
Now you're getting with your feet.
Ah.
Wait, be careful because you'll pull the wires on
There
my
we go.
desk.
All right, let's do one or two more cop log things,
Okay.
and then we want to talk. We haven't even talked about our trip yesterday, so let's get
Save
that.
it if you want to save it for another time.
I don't know.
It's up to you. Do you have the ads from the enslaved people ads?
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't. Probably in my room somewhere. I don't know where I put them. Anyway, more criminality. Let's do one or two more crimes from Greeley Crimes and Old Times. For example, I really can't find the page. Here we go. Or wait, where do we? There. Thank you very much. Okay. A caller at a bank on 35th Avenue said high school boys came in asking where the vault was,
Uh-oh.
looking for gold and threatening to rob the bank. That almost sounds like 100 years ago, but this is new. Turns out they were just typical high school kids, so they stabbed the guy, set him on fire, and filmed it all on TikTok.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, there you go. A caller on 10th Street said another man pulled out a metal pipe and threatened him after he accidentally cut him off. Kind of wonder if the caller was a moil or something like that. But,
Hope not.
and the size of the pipe. A caller near 11th Avenue reported getting chased by a man with a hammer inside a moving van. So this is why I teach my English students to be very clear in their writing
Yeah,
and make
well,
sure that
and
they're
what's the-
it's like, was it a van that was moving or was it a moving van?
I don't, or who got in what? What's the present participant?
Yeah, a caller near 11th Avenue
Prepositional
reported
phrase.
chased by a man with a hammer inside a moving van. So was he being chased by this other guy who was in the van? Were they both in the van?
No, they were
Trying to
being
run
chased
around
by
the
a man
van?
with the hammer, but the man with the hammer was in a van.
Man in the hammer was in the van.
It's
Okay.
kind of- yeah.
And was it a van that was moving or was it a moving van? You know, you
It
gotta.
was very confusing.
I know. Finally, a
Don't
man.
criticize it because you know why? We won't get any more of them.
Well, I know. Sorry,
Yeah,
Morgan.
yes,
We
Morgan.
love you. We love
Morgan,
these.
she's
The
doing a great
perfect.
job. She's doing a great job, Morgan. You're a girl.
A man on 11th Avenue said a woman kept yelling at him every time she saw him.
Okay, I gotta find. I don't know if it works. Let's see.
No.
Oh, not that
No,
one.
no. Yeah. Oh, maybe after this one then. Yeah,
That's a better one.
this woman kept yelling at him every time she saw him. I think they call that marriage. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, oh. Oh. And that, my friends, those are Greeley crimes and all crimes.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
No, he was not.
I'm sure that you
Uh-huh.
agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi.
Yippee-yi, 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 yi, yi, yippee, yippee, yippee.
Be careful on your
Oh, my friends, yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is about 20 to 12 Eastern Time in the Daverhood with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wife, Joyce. We still have our Colorado Limerick.
After this, you should go out and buy some Hot Pockets.
I know, I'm
sure
tempted.
they have the organic places like healthy Hot Pockets.
Yes, it's basically turnovers. It's as I was saying, samosas are hot, kind of.
Yeah.
Are hot. I think they're probably more like stuffy,
I
pockety
think they're
things.
bigger, they're almost like a Pop-Tart, but with a Pop-Tart size, but with meat.
Yeah, with stuffed with meat. I'm sure they're really delish. There's nothing healthy about those things. Can't be. Before we get to that and the friends of the Daverhood, let's take about a few minutes because we Joyce and I did a field trip yesterday.
Yeah.
She's finished teaching for the semester. I finished teaching
It
for
was
the
so
semester.
impressive.
What do you mean?
It was impressive.
Oh, well, we said, okay, let's go somewhere reasonably close drive. It's going to be a hot day. It was like the hottest day of the year so far.
The guy said 90 degrees.
It was 94. That was a high. But it was the morning. And we're like, hey.
In
Yeah,
Arizona,
tell.
that's the cool. In Arizona, that's
Arizona's
winter.
winter, yeah. But we get an early start. We go in the morning
Here, I'll show you
to
the picture.
a place called, the Hampton Historic Site, which is fairly close to where we live in Maryland. And what is it? And it's like, ooh.
According to Wikipedia,
It's like a mansion, a stone mansion sort of area with grounds, tons of grounds, and little smaller like stone structures and a couple of wooden structures. It's just a lovely thing to look at. And then there are tours because we thought, we just have to walk around them. But you get, it's kind of hard to see. But that's one of those is outdoors, of course, and one of those is indoors. And it's an instructional kind of tour sort of thing. So we get there early enough, just in time really, to go get tickets for the free. It's free. It's a what do they call a national historic site.
Federal historic site.
Yeah.
Federal.
Yeah.
Because the Rangers said it was federal.
So it's actually free to go see. Your tax dollars
It's
are paying.
amazing. And
Yeah.
a lot of people are there like running around the campus or walking their pets. It was like,
Yeah.
it's also like a park feel too.
Yeah, you're allowed to go around the grounds. It's just if you go in, there's a tour. You've got to go. If you go into the buildings, it has to be
I
part
don't
of the
know,
tour.
because the couple came after us. They're like, you could do a self-guided tour.
In the other building, not in the main mansion. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I know. Okay, I gotcha.
So,
And they
so,
have an app where you can do the tour, they kept saying.
so it's this beautiful mansion. I was going to say old, but nothing in America is that old. It was late 1700s, starting and redone in like the
Yeah,
1800s, or it wasn't even 7. It was like early 18s when it was mostly done. From a guy who's very important around these parts. There's even a road not far from where we live called Ridgely Road. So it was this Captain Ridgely and his family made money in iron ore, or made a ton of money, and decided to construct.
Doing stuff before iron ore.
What was it?
A trade with the British. They were from the UK.
Yeah.
And then during the war, they stopped the trade with the British, and then they did iron ore and all sorts of.
But he was entrepreneurial, and he made good money beforehand, and then he started doing the iron ore thing, and then he became super rich, and decided to expand his grounds into a mansion with little mini things all over the place. Yeah. So we meet, and we have this older docent.
I say docent, right? Tour guide,
yeah, absolutely, tour guide. Very knowledgeable.
It's a volunteer, though. When I always say docent, I assume it's a volunteer.
Probably is. The other guy wouldn't have been. Well,
the ranger was made by the stage.
So first guy was really good, and he was explaining to us all the paintings in the rooms, which was of the family of the Ridgely family.
Well, the
And
woman on
yeah,
the tour from the UK said they also had a picture of the Queen, the black and white.
I didn't
portrait.
see the Queen
I did.
Victoria picture.
Yeah,
What
it
was
was a
it?
black and white photo in the yellow room that was like the study area
Yeah.
with the mean guy, the 6-foot guy. It was like a black and white image of her very young with the crown when she was
I
first.
missed that one. I was looking for it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. But so he takes us around, he's explaining everything, and he's being honest about the circumstances of this Hampton historic mansion and the grounds and all of that. So he's basically saying, look, we're being truthful here. It was him, his wife, family, a kid, family too. And then, oh yeah, there were 400 servants all working on the grounds. And when you say servants, he's meaning, and it's interesting that they use this word now, which they would not have used even 15 years ago. They would say, oh, they're slaves. There's slaves all over the place, slaves on the ground, slaves serving, slaves cooking, slaves doing the yard and whatever. And now they call them enslaved peoples.
It's called person first, so it's like saying,
Yeah.
it's saying, I'm a disabled person. You're really a person with a disability. So it's like, it's not to let the condition or experience, like, you don't say a homeless person, you say a person who's experiencing homelessness, because
Right.
you're not always homeless, hopefully. It's, you can't define somebody. It's like saying a person with kidney disease rather than a kidney patient.
Okay, no, I get that.
It's like
Well,
the
this is, they
person,
should say then
yeah.
person who is enslaved.
Yeah, that would be the correct.
But they've been saying, they've been saying enslaved people,
It's
which
saying
is
like
still
indigenous-
more correct
yeah.
terminology, and as opposed to, because back in the days, not that slaves were a wonderful thing, not that we suddenly say, oh, lucky slave, but it's still, they're being very careful to be like, understand the history here is not so lovely. All these things that were built, all this stuff, when it wasn't gifts that they went around buying when they went traveling, the furniture, the room, it was built and run by enslaved peoples. And it was just fine to take an hour and go through these rooms and look at the paintings on the walls and look at the music room with a reconstructed harp that they're going to be showing off, and this whole piano, and go and the kitchen and the place where they had the ashes and things for, when they had stoking the fires and there was a big ash pit thing. It was fun. And then they say, you have just enough time if you want to see the tour of the other part of the mansion. So like, why not? We tromp across the lawn and go to the second smaller.
Say the truth, we follow people who actually know where they're going.
Yeah,
You and I have no clue. We're
Yeah,
like,
we got Tracy
the
and I.
two ladies seem to forcefully walk. I'm like, follow them.
We would wind up in North Dakota or
I'm
something.
like, follow the ladies.
And there we have a different tour guide, much younger, who is literally, he is an actual park ranger with the
He's
cool
also-
hat.
But also, David, his master's is in looking at historical,
Yeah.
race and history. So he has a very unique and specific line of research that's perfect for the
Right.
site where he's working. Like, it's perfect.
Well, so this guy wasn't mincing words. This guy wasn't being like, here's the family and this is this interesting thing. And this family was kind of important because General Lafayette stayed there for a bit and they worked with, after the Civil War. And so, no, this guy was like, okay, let's really talk about this. This house was built on torture and blood. It's like the slaves were abused, they were mistreated. The guy himself, Ridgely, this guy, he whipped them 10 to one person was known for being whipped 50 times.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, these are awful people. This fact, which you can say, by the way, because the Ridgely family is no longer in any way connected to the house. They sold the whole thing, the grounds. It's run by, as we say, the federal government. So he can say, look, I can say things now that I couldn't even say 5 years ago when Donald Trump was in office, because there was a certain thing of how you talk about America and how you talk about our history. But I can tell you, okay, this Captain Ridgely, he is a piece of work, and then there's this other woman who was there, and she was.
It says tracing the lives of the enslaved.
Yeah. There was one woman who we figured, well, wait a minute, she was so religious, she didn't want her picture taken. She was like really, and they forced her. They said, please, you're part of the family. Please take one picture. So
Oh
I took
my
this
God.
picture of her going like,
No,
this
it wasn't a
sourpuss.
picture, it's a painting.
Oh, was it a painting?
Yeah, so
She's
she
back for a
was-
painting.
She was Methodist, yeah.
And we were like, so wait a minute, if she's so religious and so Methodist, how did she, didn't she have a problem with there being like enslaved people all around her. And they're like, religion looks where it wants to look and doesn't when it doesn't. You know.
The one thing I asked them that
Yeah.
they couldn't answer
Yeah.
was, were those marriages?
Or arranged? I don't know if they were arranged. I think you're in a certain level of high society.
But you know,
So
like,
you meet people when you're
Yeah.
coming out at balls. You said balls.
no, but you know, like they say, like, okay, this is a rich family, because they'd say like they were another wealthy whatever.
Yeah. But what else do I want to tell about them? So yeah, it was a more eye-opening, because normally when you go around old historic things, they'll tell a kind of a creepy angle or a ghost story or something like that. But mainly just give, well, this piece of furniture was built in this way, and this, and notice the Rococo style of the time, and this was painted on, and this was marble, but it's faux marble, okay, whatever. And this was more like, okay, let me give you the whole history of what these people did. And they added like another 5,000 acres, and then they did this, and then this. Oh, and Captain eventually, before he died, he let 70 of the enslaved people go, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and it's supposed to be like this positive thing, which I'm sure is how they framed it 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago when they were giving tours of the place. I was like, well, you know, yes, he had slaves, but when it was time, he let the indentured servants and the slaves, he gave them their freedom, which is already a loaded sort of idea that somebody else can give you your freedom. Right? I mean, well, and the place was known for being like not only brutal to the slaves, but like an example. Like there were runaway slaves. They did everything in their power to get those slaves back, no matter where they went, because there's a no-nonsense kind of a place.
Yeah.
So that was all interesting. But here's the deal. We're walking around the grounds. It's getting pretty hot. It's like already in the upper 80s in the late morning. And we're going around the fields and looking at this tree. There's this beautiful tree that literally, it didn't occur to me that trees could be this old. The tree is probably about 230 years old, which is mind-blowing. I can get that trees can easily be over 100 years. But trees stretching back to the late 1700s is astonishing to me. Or would it be late? Yeah, so whatever it was. Yeah, late 1700s. So we're moving around these grounds, and then we're going to these little houses, these places where the enslaved peoples lived, ate to a room, you know, the size of the room that I'm currently in. This bedroom that's turned into an office here. Literally, 8 people would live, and it was just, unbelievable. And outside this stone building, I look on the ground, because, I'm kind of wandering around, just kind of looking at my own stuff. And while the tour guide is giving the tour stuff and the people are listening, I look on the ground, and only me would see this. There's no reason for this. But of all people, it's outside the slave quarters of one of the slave buildings on the grounds. And I pick this up, and I go to the tour guide, and I'm like, what? Why? How is there a potato here? Because it wasn't a potato field, there wasn't a potato patch, there wasn't anything growing there. It was just grass, and this by the building. And he said, yeah, sometimes people eat potatoes. I'm like,
Yes.
because understand, I can let you, if you know this show, you know me and potatoes
Well,
go
the
way
potato-
back.
What does the potato mean? Something.
Well,
explain
it can be a symbolic thing for Africans of it's a happy thing, it's a good thing. What was it in terms of plenty?
I'm looking. I think a potato hole is where you cooked.
So it might have been outside the kitchen of where they would have. But who would go on a tour of a historic site, even one like this, and just say, oh, I'm going to leave a potato.
Meaning of potato in slavery.
According to potato hole, the term comes from slavery, when slaves had to dig holes in the earthen floors of their cabins. It was the only place they had to keep food cool, and, in some cases, to hide it and store it.
So
It says for us, potato hole is a place where you can find and honor treasures in the Black community. So it's a very sacred place.
It's a sacred, beautiful place. And I was like, first of all, I'm still not sure if this is a regular potato. I believe it's a sweet potato. This kind of feels and looks sort of, if you see this kind of thing, that seems a little sweet potato-y to me. I asked the tour guide, I said, do you need me to put this back, or why is this? No, you can have it.
He's like, if you want to take it.
Yeah. So I got myself a beautiful souvenir.
And you were like, really?
From this place of hell, from this place of wonder for like a white family of 4 and black families of 400.
Yes.
But hey, I got a real, actual potato that just out of the weird thing. Remember, we drove around to another local historic site about 2 weeks ago, and we saw a badger type animal, a bandicoot thing wandering about.
Right.
Something about it was near the library locally. It's that one with that little house on the hill that you drive up to.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. That was weird too.
And there was it wasn't a squirrel.
And he wanted to chase it, and I'm like, don't chase it. It's some kind of no.
Yeah.
Maybe they just draw maybe the energy is like cuckoo.
Maybe, but you know what? I feel bad for all the slaves who were beaten and tortured and killed and died and were indentured.
I couldn't like exercise there or walk.
Families separated and things, but hey, I did find the potato.
I think somebody left it as a memento. Like to honor the enslaved people.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's like when someone who's Jewish leaves
a stone. I was thinking of a stone on the grave.
It is. I think it's like remembrance.
When I go visit my dad or some of the other relatives, I may bring a potato now. Or if there's a stick, I just put a beautiful.
Yeah, but then also the potato might draw like birds and stuff. People might want to have it.
Oh. Yeah. I'll think about this a little more.
Yeah, think that a little thoroughly.
Anyway, we're getting close on to noon here in the Daverhood. You're watching Dave's Gone By, our 897th edition. The Daverhood. So first of all, we have our Colorado Limerick coming up, but let's thank folks who were first of all on this episode of the show. We're going to thank Daniel Gwirtzman. Watch his dance. It's happening tonight and tomorrow at the Cherry Art Space over in Ithaca. And if you can't get to Ithaca, New York to see.
Explain why Ithaca?
Oh, he's based there. That's where his.
That's where he lives. Okay.
Yeah. And it's thecherry.org. Thecherry.org. If you can go to his website, there's a $20 fee, and you can live stream the dance from anywhere. And also you can check out his website, gwirtzmandance.org and dancewithus.org are two of his websites. Check it out. Daniel Gwirtzman, and we thank him so much for being in the Daverhood with Rabbi Saul Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches. If you want more about Rabbi Saul, go to his website, shalomdammit.com. Shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T, shalomdammit.com. This is where you can read and hear his rabbinical reflections. Those are mini sermons. You will also
dance a little bit. That would have been my nothing.
Rabbi Saul, no. Plus, it's not a lot of room here, so he was tapping his toe at certain points, so he can do this.
Oh, the gangrene's better, I guess.
You can hear the creaking, the snapping of the
synovial fluid.
But Rabbi Saul, shalomdammit.com. His stage show is on there, and his episodes of the TV show that he did. They're all very funny. Shalomdammit.com. Plus, thank you so much to Vicki Quade, who is, of course, the co-creator of Late Night Catechism, as well as creator of Bible Bingo and Are You Smarter?
Right? Wasn't it the big anniversary?
This is, last month was the 30th, I think.
Yeah. It was a big one.
It was a big, was it only 30? What was it? 23, 13, I think 93. 93 feels about right. It's probably 30th anniversary.
What anniversary is it for Late Night Catechism?
30 less than sub greater
30.
30th anniversary, yeah. So Mazel Tov to Vicki. And she's still doing it. And other people are still playing the nun in Late Night Catechism. Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun and Bible Bingo? They're all at the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago. And of course, she also travels a bit. So you might not necessarily be in Chicago, but she does go to other places. Vicki Quade.
She does like benefits too, like fundraising and stuff. She's very philanthropic.
Yeah. And thank you also to the Shubs. Cynthia.
I think that Leslie should send them the crown.
I've got to get their address in Arizona if I don't have it.
I think you do.
And because they're entitled, they won. They are the champions of trivia this week. Cynthia and
I
Jeff.
hope the crown doesn't melt.
That'd be tough. It'd be yeah. Well, but you know what? If the Burger King could wear his crown near all those Burger King ovens and it didn't melt,
That's true.
I think it would be fine.
I can also make another one. It's not that hard.
Yeah. So these are all friends of the Daverhood for just this week. They were on the show today. But what about people who've been on this program in the months and years past that we have been on the air? As a matter of fact, it's noon right now of our 897th edition of the show. We've been calling it The Way We GWIR. But of course, we've done all these other episodes with all these other fabulous people. What are they up to? I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to tell you about the Friends of the Daverhood. So among the Friends of the Daverhood this week, first of all, gotta send out congratulations to musician Jorma Kaukonen. His album, Live at the Bottom Line, was recorded back in 2002, but they're just now releasing this as a record from Omnivore Recordings. So yay for Jorma. Also, want to let you know that tonight, Tammy Pescatelli, the comedian, will be at the Suffolk Theater in Patchogue on Long Island. Go see her. Starting today and running through June 24th, Steve Epstein's When Your Soulmate Dies is at the Alchemical Lab on West 14th Street. I think it's only once a week. It might just be a Saturday thing. But go see it. He was the guy who was with his wife, Hassan. They were Epstein and Hassan. So he did a show about losing her to cancer a couple of years ago. So go see it. Katie Huffman, tomorrow. Actress, all these people. Look at this. Whoa, get noise ready. Katie Huffman, Tonya Pinkins, and Austin Pendleton. That's an Austin Pendleton alert, my friends. They are, what are they doing? They're in a virtual play reading from Theater Resources Unlimited, TRU. It's a benefit, and it's virtual, and it is tomorrow. So go to TRU's website and look for them. As the Shubs reminded us, Shy, a.k.a. Shyaporn Therakolstit, is in the musical Con the Musical at the Players Theater off Broadway. That is running just through tomorrow. Also through tomorrow, more noise, Austin Pendleton. He's directing the solo play A Seance with Mom by Nancy Redmond. That is at the Chain Studio in Midtown Manhattan on 36th Street. I don't know how Austin, well, once you direct, you can kind of step away. I mean, he's kind of, but even so, he's just indefatigable. Melissa Errico, Monday night, she's doing a tribute to Peter Foley. It's at the Prospect Theater at the Norton Symphony Space in, I won't say Upper Manhattan, but up on West 95th Street. That is Monday night. Also Monday night, Peter Felicia is hosting the 77th Annual Theater World Awards.
Oh, wow.
In New York, yes.
Do you vote for that or no?
No.
That's not voting.
Robert Cuccioli, this is Monday and Tuesday, he is reading a new play with other people called Houdini Among the Spirits. It's a private, it's probably a musical because the York Theater is doing it. So he's in the cast there. So, if it goes well.
Oh, it's like a trial run.
Yeah.
Or something? Okay.
So that's Robert Cuccioli, Monday and Tuesday.
Good
Tuesday.
luck. Break a leg, Robert.
Yeah. Tuesday. Oh my God, Steve Forbert is at My Father's Place in Glen Cove, New York.
Oh, wow.
So, rock singer, folk singer Steve Forbert, My Father's Place, go see him. Now on Thursday night, June 8th, Seth Beeson-Hirsch is doing a more Yeston-based cabaret at Don't Tell Mama that evening. And then also starting Thursday night for the weekend, if you've never seen TJ and Dave, that's TJ Jagodowski and Dave Pasquazi. Well, aren't you lucky? Mm-hmm. At the Soho Playhouse, they do long-form improv. So they start out with, really nothing. They just kind of look at each other for a bit, and one will start, and then one will go, and they create an hour-long, full-length
They deserve
improv
some
play.
kind of award, because that's Hardy
Oh,
Bob.
God. And they've been doing it for years.
I think it's all based on Alan Ginsberg's.
His ass poetry, yes. But that is, where's that? Oh, Soho Playhouse, downtown in Manhattan. Edward Einhorn is the author and director of a play called The Shylock and the Shakespeareans. That's being done at the New Ohio Theater. Karen Finley, wow, it's been running a while. She has her new piece, COVID Vortex Anxiety Opera Kitty Kaleidoscope Disco, at the Laurie Beachman Theater, running through mid to late June. J.O. Sanders is off Broadway in the Roundabout Theater's Primary Trust. That is being done at the Laura Pels Theater through early July. Now through September 3rd, the end run of the show. Tova Feldshuh is in Funny Girl at the August Wilson Theater. Dakin Matthews is playing Merlin in Camelot. That's at the Lincoln Center Theater. Lilias White is in Hadestown. Alan Menken, of course, has written the music for Aladdin on Broadway and Little Shop of Horrors off Broadway. Speaking of cabaret, K.T. Sullivan.
Oh, Lord.
Go see her at the Algonquin Tuesday
Is this
nights.
like the busy season that everyone's so...
Usually it's dead now. Maybe by August.
Yeah, what do you think everyone's doing? Well, it's only June. Maybe May to June, and then they stop.
Yeah, we haven't had the Tonys yet. So.
Oh, okay.
Seth Beeson Hirsch has Seth's talent show at Don't Tell Mama. That's
Where are
every
the
Tuesday
Tonys?
night. The Tonys are next Sunday.
Okay. So the 11th, right?
Yeah, wow. Good.
Is that true?
I'm pretty sure.
Today's the 3rd. Oh, no, it's the 10th.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Sunday is 11th, yeah.
Marcus Goldhaber is now playing at Room 623 in Harlem on 119th Street. That is on Sunday nights. It's an open run. So go see him. Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano, they do their thing at Birdland on Saturday nights. Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks are at Birdland on Monday nights. Jim Caruso's Cast Party is also at Birdland every Monday night.
Birdland is the place to be.
Get your tickets, birdlandjazz.com. And letting you know that, of course, Evan Seplow is the editor and founder of StageBuddy.com, the website. Dr. Demento does all the new Dr. Demento shows at drdemento.com. Oh, go see Charlie Gross and our friend Leslie O'Brien. No, I'm sorry, no, he's not doing his one-man show. It's just
the webinar.
Two on the Aisle on YouTube. And then Late Night Catechism we mentioned, that's Vicki Quade. So those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Yeah. Dig it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so it is a few minutes after noon on this Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, almost finishing up the 897th edition of Dave's Gone By. We've done the Today Yesterday trivia. We had Daniel Gwirtzman in the Daver. We talked about the plantation. Well, and we got to say goodbye to people. Are we friends in the Daverhood? We did. What could do? Greeley Crimes and Old Times? We did. What could possibly be missing? You and me kissing. See, that rhymes.
No, you do your horrible
So
thing.
these are
Do
good.
your horrible thing.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Joyce is reminding me that we have not yet done our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. This is a poem that is intentionally rude, ribald, usually, and even downright disgusting and horrible, because Joyce and I lived in Colorado for a bunch of years, and I took it into my head to write as many poems about places in Colorado as I could think of, or pluck out of an atlas or list of towns and cities in Colorado. So we've done dozens and dozens of these. This one, please tell us about Ken, Caryl, Colorado. Two words, K-E-N, and then Caryl, C-A-R-Y-L. Ken Caryl, Colorado. You look it up while I play our theme.
You're the poetry man. A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain,
Colorado. So we're going to Ken
It
Caryl.
was called Caryl Ranch.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And they used to sell a house. You bought on a toll road. You had a toll road for $150 a wagon.
Yeah. Yeah, and he built an inn there and a little toll road. He made a little neighborhood, a little stopping
The Civil
point.
War butcher, John Shivington, was there, and a Ute chief, Colorado, and the Utes were moved after Meeker Massacre.
Yeah. Now, the Indians did not do very well in this area. As a matter of fact, the area was bought in 1859 by Army Major Robert Bradford. He's the guy who did the toll road.
Oh.
Yeah.
In the South Park episode Trapped in the Closet, a reference is made to the Funplex, an amusement center in Ken Caryl, though it has been renamed multiple times since then. First Fat City, then Mr. Biggs, and now Fun City.
Fun City.
It was closed in 15 and demolished.
Oh, not just but that's a shame. What happened was when the guy built an inn and the road there, a rival road soon took most of his business, and after he died, the ranch had several different owners. By 1914, it was owned by the guy who owned the Rocky Mountain News newspaper, but he got pretty much wiped out by the Great Depression. So more owners came and went, and the area was eventually run as a campus for Lockheed Martin, and then followed by what is now a suburban community there. But what's pretty cool about the place is that just what's not so much what you see, but what's underneath, tons of rocks and minerals that geologists are finding there that are like 600 million years old. I was impressed by a tree that's 200 years old. Imagine finding a rock that you can carbon date or whatever the hell they do to 600 million years ago. I think there's a couple of old pieces of cake in our fridge that are almost that old. But
yeah, let's go grab it.
Yeah, if they do fossilize, I'm not going to throw them out though. Maybe I'll feed them to unicorn. Is there anything else about Ken Caryl before I get to our?
I don't understand what it is. So.
Well, it is a small, unincorporated community, now a suburban kind of community, and we're going to do a horrible, disgusting Colorado limerick of the damned about Ken Caryl, Colorado. A quirky young man from Ken Caryl would take all his shits in a barrel. One terrible minute, he slipped and fell in it, and ruined his finest apparel. Please send your comments, complaints, and everything else to davesgoneby@aol.com. davesgoneby@aol.com. You can also message me right here on the Facebook page, or direct message me if you're a friend on Facebook. But either way, please, I want to hear from you. I love reading your stuff, even if I don't have a chance to respond to everybody. Or again, apologies. If you sent a Facebook friend request to me, I'm close to 5,000 subscribers. I just don't have the time or the wherewithal to go checking everybody and go over the limit. So, and also check, can I tell if this is a real request for a bot thing, or sometimes it's a lot harder to tell than it used to be. They're not so obvious anymore. I mean, sometimes very real people are being spammed and sending messages, so I'm kind of easing away from new friends on Facebook stuff. I apologize if you've been waiting for weeks to know whether, you can still watch the show. You don't have to be official friends on Facebook to see the show or to message me or to write things, so please do. Also, please go to davesgoneby.com. That is where the archives are. When this show is over, in the next 24 hours or so, we're going to get the episode up so you can watch it at any time, or people you know missed it. If you love someone who loves dance, and you're like, they would really love that interview with Daniel Gwirtzman, hey, just either they can watch it on our Facebook feed because it's automatically saved, or go to davesgoneby.com and it will be there. They can watch it right there, and so can you. You can also watch a higher quality version, more what do they call it? More bytes or something of more visual quality, I should say, pixel quality of the show by going to archive.org. We have a channel there, the Dave's Gone By channel at archive.org. So especially over the past few months when we've been very limited in the upload that we can do for davesgoneby.com, it's fine. Go to archive.org and watch it there for you get higher quality stream, for whatever reason. We also upload our audio to castbox.fm. Cast, B-O-X, castbox.fm. This is specifically for podcasting and audio only. So even though these are video shows, if you just want to hear the audio...
Well, your friend used to do it while he was working, or
yeah,
you want to listen to something, but you can't watch.
you can't lock in for 3 hours and watch something, fine. Archive.org, castbox.fm is the place to just download if you have an iPod. Do they even call that iPod anymore?
No.
What do they call them now? A device.
On your phone. You download it
Download on your phone as an MP3, and there it is. So, all those different ways of really seeing the same material. Either davesgoneby.com, archive.org, or castbox.fm for the audio only. We also have a
You can
YouTube
listen
channel.
now, or you could get the app.
Yeah, at castbox.fm. So check us out either way, because we've had literally 20 plus years of content, 896 plus one shows, thousands of hours of entertainment. It's all there for you. And that's very important to me. Because as much as I love doing the show live every week and doing this, it's also
When I
meaningful that it
I
stays.
searched Lefkowitz and it came Dave's Gone By.
Yeah, there it is. So just find me. All these different places. And by the way, also,
You can show
don't
people
here's
what it looks like.
castbox.fm. Thank you very
Show
much.
them what it looks like. And that's not the app, that's just the website, but you can download the app.
Yeah, and that way you
That's
just
not
plug
the
right
app,
in.
that's just the website.
Yeah. Well, it's a good picture of me.
Yeah, but you can do it on the app, it's probably better. Most people
Thank you,
do it on
Ann.
the app, and
Yeah. And, one other thing, there's one other website. Please go to davelefkowitz.org. That is where I put all my old and new plays, song lyrics, written interviews that I've done, profile pieces, articles, essays. It's a repository for my many, many, many years of writing. So while davesgoneby.com is all about the radio show and the content for here, the written content you will find at davelefkowitz.org, and we keep adding more to it all the time. davelefkowitz.org. Well, that kinda, I do believe, takes us through the end of the program. Hun, is there anything we kind of, left out or didn't talk about, or anything else from the week? Not really. Not
no,
really.
I think so
I
many
think we're
things
good.
happened. I'm looking at Castbox, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't, a lot of stuff, I just don't remember.
Well, it was Memorial Day week, but it was just Memorial. We had a day. You had a day off. You didn't have to go to school.
Pasta was good.
Made pasta was nice.
I want to go get apples later.
Yeah.
Exciting.
All right.
Oh, did you show them the dress uniform?
Briefly. So again, Joyce
Oh.
Joyce knows I'm going to be under great stress when I have to return giant shit stain unicorn.
What does it say on the bottom there?
Feel the calming powers of the rainbow. I know it's cute. It's a squeezy thing, I guess. Although these kind of slanty, kind of devil eyes, they freak me. There's something a little scary about the eye. Yeah.
Get the googly eye and glue it on.
Then it would be unbelievably cute.
So let's get a googly eye.
Let me at Michael's or so. We'll get googly
we'll
eyes.
Get googly eyes, and we could like a bag of mixed size googly
Then
eyes.
we can put it on the goat too.
Anything.
Wouldn't it be adorable?
Anything you want, yeah. Put it on in any item.
Pooey's eyes are already cute. He doesn't
But
really
he
need
could
them.
have maybe when he's excited, like what? Like surprised, and then we stick the big googly eyes on.
Oh, yes, we can put them on. Let's see. No, these eyes are already kind of cute though.
Yeah.
This one's
He's
really cute.
still.
Yeah.
You want to put him on here, Bobby?
Yeah, this is probably the safest place to put him.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to our 897th episode, which we've been calling The Way We GWIR. Go see Daniel Gwirtzman either in person
What's next week?
or stream him. Next week we have, on our next episode,
Yeah.
we're going to have a filmmaker and playwright, or a musical maker. Now, you might remember, this is going back already more than a decade. There was almost 2 decades of Borning, a musical that had Broadway aspirations called Soul Doctor.
War?
God, no, not War.
Oh.
It was the life story and music of Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The guy who had the Carlebach Shul in New York and put out all these albums because he crossed two worlds. He was in the world of being a rabbi and kind of a modern-ish rabbi, but also playing music at the village gate in the village and intersecting with folk people and putting out albums. Granted, all the songs were based on biblical passages, but he had a gift for melody and very catchy stuff and a very nice voice. So Rabbi Carlebach, man, his music's great. He has an interesting story. Let's make a musical about him. They called it Soul Doctor. And it was moving around. They were testing out all these different places. We had a country singer who was actually cast as Soul Doctor in its early, I'm forgetting the guy's name. You can look it up on Dave's Gone By. But he was also he was a Broadway singer actor too. And forgive me for forgetting your name, man, if you're watching. But by the time the show actually made it,
Soul Doctor musical cast
to Broadway.
According to Wikipedia,
Yeah.
other cast members included Jacob Heimer, Eli Hyam, Deborah Cardona, Mother, Don Meehan Father, Anthony Laciero, Red Pinches, Moishala, Hayden Wall, Young Shlomo,
Moishala.
Rosalie Graziano, Young
This is all
Eli Hyam,
later. This
Diana
is with the
Archer, Ruth,
the
John
Broadway.
Columbus, Milton O'Kane, Jesse
But there was a country singer who just look up country singer Soul Doctor.
This is like the people.
Yeah. Because he played Reb Shlomo. And forgive me for not remembering. But eventually the show twisted and literally made it to Broadway. It got okay reviews and it didn't do that well. And Danny Wise was the writer for the show. But it doesn't go away. It's a great story.
But they're making a movie.
Music is, yes, written and directed by Danny Wise.
Whoa.
Who is our guest in the Daverhood next Saturday, next Shabbos, on June 10th. So yes, be here in the neighborhood. So if you love Shlomo Carlebach, and yes, we're not going to let it go.
Fabulous. It's tapping your feet.
That was beautiful. I just loved it.
Love is universal through music.
The film is wonderful, and it's the right time with the right message and the right story.
It's a wonderful way to bind cultures. And we didn't know that Nina Simone was so involved with the Jewish community.
I'm not an emotional person, but I couldn't help crying and laughing. It was so well produced. It was unbelievable, and I recommend it for everyone.
I encourage more people of any background that they should see it.
I would absolutely recommend. I highly recommend it to everyone.
I recommend it very highly. I would encourage everyone to come and see Soul Doctor.
A joyous leaping roar,
And there's especially, but the one thing that all the critics really liked about the musical version, the stage version, was that, yes, in some weird way, because he was downtown and part of the music and recording world, he was on Vanguard Records, he intersected with Nina Simone. Yeah. So there's apparently a lengthy scene between him and her performing that really, all the critics who were met on the musical really perked up. There's the original Broadway version of, but that is not the guy who was on our show, because he was before Broadway. It was, just Google like country singer, Soul Doctor.
Country singer and Soul Doctor. Lee Bryce?
No, it wasn't Lee Bryce. Good
Uncle
Lord.
Cracker?
God, no, it wasn't Uncle Cracker.
I'm looking on Wikipedia. Okay.
Country singer, Soul Doctor Carlebach, or I'm probably looking up.
Principal roles. Okay, who am I looking for? Eric Anderson?
No. Was it? Maybe.
Jamie Jackson. What role was it?
Carlebach, Shlomo. He was Shlomo.
Teddy Walsh.
No. Oh, this is killing me. I'm just
Eric Anderson says Shlomo Carlebach.
Maybe it was, but Eric Anderson is not the folk. We had an Eric Anderson, not him.
I don't know, honey.
And he's not the folk singer Shlomo either.
Why don't you look it up and do it for your show?
Yeah, let me just, hold on. This may be a thing I can find fairly quickly.
Is it Jelly Roll, a rapper?
Could not, no, certainly was not. So.
Freddie Cunningham?
Let's see.
Mo Pitney?
Mo Pitney?
I don't know.
Gary Morris.
Oh.
Gary Morris was the guy. He was on this show back in 2012.
Oh my God.
When they were still trying to shop this around and get it to New York. So he didn't make it to New York with the show. But Soul Doctor is now a film. And apparently, at least from the people in the promo thing, it's pretty good. So here's the deal. They're pushing the film. It's coming out imminently. And we have the guy who wrote the show and has now written and directed the movie. His name is Danny Wise. And he will join us, and of course Rabbi Sal Solomon, next Saturday here on Dave's Gone By. Me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife Joyce, and of course all of you watching. Please tell your friends about the show. That's how we build our audience. That's how people know that we're here and still here after all these years. So,
Unicorn likes it. Unicorn was laughing.
Giant shit stains unicorns.
He likes it.
He does. And I think that'll take us out of the show and gone by.
Days gone by.